Orlando.com/your407 to cast your vote. Just pick whichever news story you want to see. First, a krill thrill. You'll need to watch this impressive hurdle by a humpback. Or a hot rod pork chop, the hilarious game of cat and mouse between an officer and a pig. And a grumpy guide, how a museum is gaining visitors for their curmudgeon tour. Whichever story gets the most votes, we'll reveal a little later in the show. Again, that website is fox35orlando.com/your407. All right, it's time for our top 4 at 4. Here are today's 4 most talked about stories. Check them out. First, the mouse avoids the courthouse for now. Next, pennies are out. So how do we get our change? Third, bringing back the font. And fourth, the age of AI infidelity. Russ Rollins from Real Radio's Monsters in the Morning is joining us on this Friday Eve. Hi there, Russ.
Hey, Marlisa, how you doing?
I'm doing so good. Why don't you say we get into this?
Sure.
All right, first up, things are settling between 2 of Orlando's biggest names. We're talking Mickey Mouse and Morgan & Morgan. Russ, almost 2 months ago, we talked about how Morgan & Morgan sued Disney in order to use the iconic Steamboat Willie in an ad after the cartoon entered public domain last year. Well, Morgan & Morgan dropped the suit yesterday. This was big news when we first learned about this, so what do you think about this new development, Russ?
I wonder why they dropped the lawsuit. Because it's public domain.
Right.
So from what I understand, they can use it. I don't know. What do you think?
Very interesting. So it makes me wonder, what was the hubbub about? Was it to garner attention or to get clients? I don't know.
I don't know. You know, there are some. Have you seen some of those like horror movies that use some of these characters? Like they got like a Popeye horror movie. They're terrible movies, but maybe Disney doesn't want anyone to do that, which I understand. But Morgan & Morgan dropped the case, right?
Yeah.
Maybe John Morgan doesn't want to be seen as the guy that's suing Mickey Mouse.
The bad guy.
That's a bad look.
I have a feeling that he doesn't really care.
That's a good point, too. Feeling. Yeah, I know him. He doesn't care much. Yeah, I'd like to find out why. I'm going to text him and find out what's going on.
Do that. Let's see if we can get some answers. Now, this doesn't guarantee that the mouse has avoided the courthouse altogether, but at least for now, we know it does.
Okay.
All right, Russ, you can say bye-bye to pennies. After more than 230 years, the U.S. Mint pressed the final penny this week. Now the big question is, how do you get exact change? Well, you don't really. McDonald's is rounding up or down depending on your total. Some restaurants like Auntie Anne's are going to rounding cash transactions in the guest favor. Wendy's is also going to round down. So could this bring back the cash is king mentality? What do you think about this, Russ?
Well, I never have liked pennies myself.
Really? You're one of those who just gives them away or says, I don't need them.
That's terrible. I know that sounds terrible, right? Like if I see a penny on the floor, I don't even pick it up, which is bad.
Oh, you got it like
But what
that.
do you think? Do you think next it'll be the nickel? Because, you know, it costs 14 cents to make a nickel.
Yeah, so, I'm sure it will be. If President Trump can get it done in the next 3 years, it just might happen.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Now, you know, he called for stopping the print of the penny last year, and then the Treasury says it expects to save $56 million a year by stopping the production. So, I mean, when it comes to the bottom line, I guess they are helping save.
Are you okay with a cashless society? Like we never have cash ever. It's always on a card.
I have a feeling we're so close to it. Honestly, I don't think that I can run from it anymore.
Yeah, I know. Some people really get weirded out by that. They get freaked out.
All worked up about
I barely carry cash now. You know.
Yeah, I know. Well, we're headed in that direction. So get on board or get left. All right, third up, a fancy font is making a major comeback. We've used serif font styles for years now, but apparently the decorative wings and small lines went out of style when more of the minimalist trend took over. Well, now the fonts are coming back, Russ. We're talking Times New Roman, Courier New, Bakerville. Ad campaigns started reusing the fonts because it felt fresh, but these lettering styles were big in the 80s and 90s when I was writing a lot of my papers for school. So what do you think about this? Are you a big font guy?
I do like certain fonts. I'll sit forever and try to find the exact right one.
What's your favorite
when I'm making up different things. And I like the one with the little lines and stuff. I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah. I like Arial Narrow. That's my favorite.
Oh, wow.
Very
You have a
specific.
favorite.
I know. I'm a little weird like
I just
that.
scroll through and look to the one that I think is prettiest and then hit that one, you know?
Yeah, well, guess what? Even the White House, they're bringing back the font. I mean, remember when these were the only fonts you could use at one point? Now we have so many options. But what was new or what was old is new again, right?
Yes. It always happens. That's why I don't throw any clothes away. It's going to come back at some point.
It's going to come back around. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
I still have a fanny pack.
Oh, well, did that ever go out of style?
It did. Oh, it went out for a while. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, I guess I don't have any style then because I've been rocking one since the 80s.
Oh, no, you got style. You dress good, man.
Thank you, Russ. Okay, listen to this. Let's talk AI for a minute. Experts believe artificial intelligence could lead to marital troubles. Boy, oh boy, more people are having affairs with AI chatbots. One woman says she broke up with her partner because she became so attached to her chatbot. And a recent survey found 60% of people viewed AI relationships as a form of cheating. It's being called the age of AI infidelity, Russ. What in the world?
Yeah. Well, think about it. You're giving your attention to something, whether it's real or not real or whatever. You're giving it your attention, your focus, your love. Your like. I kind of get it. If my wife was talking to an AI dude all day long, I think I'd be upset. And she does not like it when I talk to the GPS lady. Like I had to change her voice to a dude because she did not like me getting the information from her.
I love that. Good for your wife. I love that. You know, this makes me think. I don't know. Have you seen any of the recent shows that kind of bring AI into the storyline? It's scary. I saw a show recently on Fox where there was an AI character and it became a whole ordeal where the husband was obsessed with her and then she went after the wife. It's getting crazy out there, and I know it is going to be a reality sooner than we think.
Is that the AI one where it was like the AI woman looked like Megan Fox?
Oh, no, that's
Can you imagine if I brought that home?
Oh, no. You think your wife has a problem with
like
the
Megan
GPS?
Fox.
Your wife has a problem. Oh, you just wait.
Oh, yeah, I'd be kicked out. I'd be sleeping out in the front yard.
Yeah, well, we've always got a place over here at Fox 35 for you, Russ.
Okay, all right, I'm in.
Russ Rollins from Real Radio's Monsters in the Morning. Thanks so much for chatting with us here on the 407.
Always great seeing you. Take care. Have a great weekend.
Absolutely. Baby sea turtles had a tough time with this week's cold snap, but thankfully the temperatures are warming up. Jessica Dobson was out on the beach in Brevard when she saw this little guy. Turns out he was not only the tiny turtle who needed help. A chilly morning on the Brevard County coast turned into a life-saving mission for over 40 baby sea turtles on Tuesday.
We're out here every morning looking for see the sunrise, looking for the turtles. So there was one, he was not moving, wasn't sure if he was dead or not. So I looked around and we ended up getting a total of 45.
The baby sea turtles had been cold stunned, their small bodies slowed down by the unusually cold temperatures in central Florida this week.
Here in the morning, I walk every morning and just check for nests that have hatched. And because we have this rack line and because a lot of the nests are in the dune, we get turtles, the last one or two that come out of the nest, sometimes they're stuck with the little thin roots wrapped around them and they're sticking their little heads out of the nest. But so we take that and let them get on their way.
But on Tuesday morning, many of the baby sea turtles weren't able to move at all, at least not until volunteers stepped in.
The first day that it happened, it was 42, 45 in here, wasn't it for you? Yeah. And that seemed to give them a start. But the water is 77, so get them to the water. If they're moving and we can get them to the water, then the water will warm them and we can get them in the water.
Volunteers say if you ever find a turtle that looks cold or sluggish, don't touch it or put it back in the water. Instead, call the Sea Turtle Preservation Society or Florida Fish and Wildlife for help. Once the little ones are stable, they're released under the cover of darkness to give them the best shot at survival.
The reason to do that is so it's dark and that they have a better chance of getting out further rather than becoming a little more like bait in the morning.
Thanks to a few helping hands, those hatchlings have safely made it to their new warm home in the Atlantic. Reporting in Melbourne Beach, Jessica Dobson, Fox 35 News. Oh, good for them. All right, we still have so much more to get to. The cold snap is on the way out and things are warming up. And did someone say, beach please? We're getting a forecast from the lifeguards right on the beach. Plus, Lauren Margolis is getting festive today. Hi there, Lauren.
Hey there, Marlisa. Santa stops here in how many days? Festival of Trees opens this weekend at Orlando Museum of Art, and we have everything you need to know.
The Orlando Museum of Art is getting ready to spread a little holiday cheer. This weekend, Festival of Trees opens, and every holiday tree has a different theme, and there's truly something for everybody. Lauren Margolis is live at the museum giving us a sneak peek at these jaw-dropping Christmas trees. Hi there, Lauren. Why don't you show us around?
Hey, Marlisa, it is beautiful in here. You can feel the holiday magic in the air. You guys are still getting ready for Festival of Trees opening this weekend, Donna.
Yes,
What can you tell us about this? I'm amazed by this room.
Oh, thank you. So this is the Festival of Trees. It's our 39th year. The Council of 101 hosts the festival. We love doing this every year for the community. And of course, all the money is proceeds goes to the Orlando Museum of Art. We're very proud of that.
And well, let's take a walk down. I want to show everyone as much as we can, and we're definitely not going to get to all of it. They're going to have to come out here and see it for themselves. What can you tell us about this hallway here?
This is called the Deck the Halls, and there's a little something for everybody. There's wreaths for children. There's elegant, luxurious wreaths for your front door. A little something for everybody. You got to come and see what works in your house.
Yes, I love this. And we are walking down the hall, and I see some pink, and I see some green. So can you tell us about the theming of these trees?
Yes. So for the last 3 years, we've had what we call a pop culture room indoor tree. And this year, we decided with the movie coming out, we had to do Wicked. And it then turned into such a beautiful, beautiful thing. We decided one tree just wasn't enough. We had to do 3.
Of course. And Semra, you designed this beautiful tree right here in the middle. What can you tell us about the work that went into designing and putting this together?
Well, I have been working on this for about a year, believe it or not, from the conception of trying to design it to actually getting it to be the tree that you see today. the tree really stands is a beautiful testament to friendship, and it's amazing to see that Glenda. With the Glenda tree being represented there is so different from Elphaba, but together they are able to find that shared connection of that friendship that brings the story to life.
Yes, and of course the ribbon right here in the front with that quote from the movie and the Broadway show. And you handmade a lot of these ornaments.
Yes, I did. It was a labor of love, and they were just so much fun to make. But every single ornament that you see here on the tree has been handmade by me, and it's been lovely, and it's been a beautiful experience.
This is amazing to see in person, and what a fitting theme for 2025. The movie comes out in just a few weeks, so I know this is going to be a popular, you see what I did there? Popular spot for people to stop by and visit. So we're going to have a lot more of Festival of Trees for you in just a little bit, Marlisa.
Oh, Lauren, I already see one of my favorites out there. Listen, we're always giving you some sort of challenge during the show. So today we have another one for you. Are you ready to accept it?
I'm ready to accept the challenge. I think I've done pretty good in the other ones.
You really have. That's the spirit. That's what I like to hear. So today we are asking you to find the most 407 themed tree there is in the building. Okay, Lauren?
Okay, I think I can do it. I'm up for the challenge. There's a lot of trees here.
Yes, I know you can do it. I cannot wait to see what you pick. We'll see you a little bit later, Lauren. Yay! Okay, if you're like me around this time of day, you're probably thinking, what's for dinner? Well, this is our segment where we like to showcase what you all are eating. Maybe you can help inspire others find something to make as well. You can scan the QR code at the bottom of the screen and head to the What's for Dinner tab and submit what you're making. Our viewer Crystal in Montverde sent us this meal. She got a chicken pot pie from Costco. I love it. This cost about $20 and can feed a pretty good sized family. We're talking 18 servings, something quick, which we love, convenient, and delicious. Crystal, thanks so much for sharing. Listen, if you are as invested in my crisis from yesterday as I was, good news, I actually remembered to bring my dinner today. I was so inspired by you all with your What's for Dinner segments. I also wanted to check in with a couple of my colleagues to see what they've been up to when it comes to making their dinner. Hey there, TJ.
Hi, Marlisa. What's up?
Okay, so you have a very special What's for Dinner today. Tell me what you recently made.
With the cold weather, it was perfect. It was hearty lasagna soup. It was trending online. I'll have to share the recipe with you later because it was so easy. About 45 minutes, start to finish.
And you said you added some spinach too?
Try to make it a little healthy. We know the pasta's not the healthiest, but get a little color, a little pizzazz.
Love that. Cannot wait for the recipe.
Oh, I think you're gonna love it.
Thanks, TJ.
Of course.
Hi there, Amy. Okay, what's for dinner at your house tonight?
Okay, so I'm stuck between two things. We're either going to do, this is bad, but the Publix meatballs, which I love, over in the meat section, or we're going to do the Publix do-it-yourself pizza. You can go buy the dough and then the sauce and make it yourself. So it's something Italian at our house tonight.
Something Italian? We love it.
Yeah,
okay.
And a salad, so we have something healthy too.
Do me a favor and take a picture.
Okay, I will.
When you make that.
Got you.
Perfect. Okay, and I want to let you all know that you can also share your submissions with us. Do me a favor and scan the QR code at the bottom of the screen so that you can send us a picture or a video of what's for dinner at your house. Can't wait to see them. And don't forget to choose the news. You can scan either QR code you see on your screen right now. We have 3 stories buzzing across the internet. You can also head to fox35orlando.com/your407 to cast your vote. Just pick whichever news story you want to see. First, a krill thrill. You'll need to watch this impressive hurdle by a humpback. Or a hot rod pork chop. The hilarious game of cat and mouse between an officer and a pig. And a grumpy guide. How a museum is gaining visitors for their curmudgeon tour. Whichever story gets the most votes, we'll reveal later in the show. Again, that is fox35orlando.com/your407. Coming up, Garrett Weimer with the news break. The headlines you need to know in just 3 minutes.
Back to the 407. I'm Garrett Weimer, and your news break starts now. The longest ever government shutdown is over after 43 days, and that's good news for travelers because we are not going to see those FAA mandated flight reductions reach the 10% that we were bracing for. But we are still seeing cancellations and delays today at airports across the country, including Orlando International Airport, where they've had more than 40 cancellations, 70 delays as well. Experts are saying it will likely take up to a week for things to return to normal, in part because a new emergency order keeps the reductions in place at 6% right now, at least through the end of the week. Well, if you plan on visiting SeaWorld soon, you might want to leave the walker at home, especially if it has a seat and wheels. The amusement park has updated its policies and now banning what they call rollators from its property. That's upsetting to some folks that we talked to today who say they depend on that specific type of walker to get around. But SeaWorld says they made this change because of a safety issue. They said they are not supposed to be used like wheelchairs. They say you still can bring walkers if it doesn't have a seat and wheels on it, mainly if it doesn't have a seat. The seat is the problem. SeaWorld also says they do offer actual wheelchairs and electric mobility vehicles if you do need them. And check this out, a new Brevard County Sheriff's Office member, a canine, a scent discriminate canine that's going to help find missing people. His name is Max. He's a 1-year-old bloodhound dog, was donated by the Senior Resource Alliance and the DOJ, went through hundreds of hours of training. And he's going to help find people, missing people with Alzheimer's disease and other forms of dementia. That's your 407 News Break. I'm Garrett Weimer.
Garrett, thanks so much. Don't forget to help us with the 407's Turkey Trouble Daily Question. We're asking, are you charging for Thanksgiving dinner? Scan the QR code and let me know. A new Washington Post column started this conversation. The article titled, "If Money is Tight, Is It Okay to Charge Guests for Thanksgiving Dinner?" They wrote about one person who attended a Thanksgiving dinner where their aunt charged $10 and even had the audacity to have a tip jar on the table. Similarly, a debate was sparked on Reddit last year when a student hosting a Friendsgiving potluck dinner asked for $12 per person to cover the cost of the turkey. Scan that QR code. Let me know what you think. It's almost the weekend, and things were a little chilly for a couple days, but they're heating back up. We are checking in with Volusia County Beach Safety Lifeguard and EMT, Emily Walcott, live at Daytona Beach Shores. Hi there, Emily.
Hey.
Oh, it looks chilly out there. Give us a little beach weather forecast, if you will. What's the air temperature, water temp?
So right now the air temperature is 68 degrees. There's an 8-mile-an-hour wind from the north. The water temperature is actually a little warmer than the air. It's 72.
Wow.
Sun setting, so it's going to get a little chillier, but it's nice for a good evening walk after work.
Yeah, no complaints. Now, are you all flying any flags at this time?
We do have a yellow flag for our rip current advisory. It's moderate, but that doesn't mean that rips aren't pulling. It's just that the surf isn't elevated in addition to those rip currents.
As for the tide, is it high tide or low tide right now?
It's outgoing tide. We had a high tide earlier at around 2:30.
Gotcha. So looking ahead to the weekend, I know a lot of people are excited that it's warming back up. When will high and low tides be?
High and low tides, we have an app for that. Ooh. So the Volusia County Beaches app, you can actually refer to it. It's free for Apple and Android users. If you download it, you'll get all of the tides for the day. You'll get the condition flags for that day, as well as any staff lifeguard towers. And you can also do weather. You can check your vehicle ramp entries to see which ones are going to be open. So you can actually plan your entire visit before you even leave your house.
Oh, that is very resourceful. Listen, it's been a while since I've made my way out to the beach. Are there any sudden drop-offs or hidden sandbars near the shore?
So we do have some sandbars around our Bodifer approach in my zone specifically. We have a little bit of like a deep slough there, which can be problematic for smaller swimmers. But they are sporadic throughout the beach, so we just advise that you use caution, stay waist deep at all times, and as always swim in front of a lifeguard. Once again, referring back to that Volusia Beaches app, you can see which towers are going to be staffed for that day.
Very, very good information. Volusia County Beach Safety Lifeguard and EMT, Emily Walcott, thanks so much for joining us and giving us our Beach Please forecast. Good to see you.
You're very welcome.
Go ahead and choose the news. You can scan either QR codes. We have 3 stories buzzing across the internet right now. You can also head to fox35orlando.com/your407 to cast your vote. Just pick whichever news story you want to see. First, a krill thrill. You'll need to watch this impressive hurdle by a humpback. Or a hot rod pork chop, the hilarious game of cat and mouse between an officer and a pig. And a grumpy guide, how a museum is gaining visitors for their curmudgeon tour. Whichever story gets the most votes, we'll reveal a little later in the show. Again, that website is fox35orlando.com/your407. Oh, bet you didn't know. Oviedo was once known as the celery capital of the world. Celery kept the community thriving through the mid-20th century. How fun is that? Well, she's the Oviedo mayor and a mother. Megan Sladek is joining us here on the 407. Hi there, Mayor. So good to see you.
Oh, great to be here.
Yes, we're so happy to have you this afternoon. So let's talk a little bit about Oviedo and the growth that is happening out there. The once small town, they're experiencing a lot of people moving in. Traffic, I hear, gets pretty tough out there. It's a big concern for people living out there. So talk to me a little bit about the growth that you all have been experiencing in recent years.
So we've actually not had as much growth as people think we have. Yes.
Is this a myth?
1% per year.
No way.
That's what it's been.
Well, it seems like a lot more to the rest of us.
Well, there's a lot of people passing through, so the growth outside of Oviedo is a lot higher, and that ends up creating a lot of traffic going through the town.
Now, with that extra traffic, is there an economic boom for the local businesses?
The more traffic there is, and the slower it goes, the better it is economically for the businesses who line the streets with the slower traffic.
Very interesting. So tell me, how do you lead a city into a commercial success while kind of keeping the residents residents what the residents want and how they want it?
Slow movement. I know a lot of people feel like it's not slow, but statistically, we are shifting very slowly. So we've got about 80% residential and the other 20% is commercial. And just little by little, we are thickening up the town center. And it's helpful and cool stuff for the people who live there. And that's the trick to the whole thing, is make sure that the people who already live there find the things that are coming to be enhancements to their lives.
Yeah, and get excited about it. Now, something that we want to note, you were elected mayor, and then 1 week later, I believe it was, we're talking just days later, you gave birth to your son in 2019. How is it leading a city and taking care of a family? And kudos to you for jumping into that position days before giving birth. That's wild.
It was exciting. So my youngest son just turned 6 because we just had an election.
Yes.
So then he had a birthday.
Wow.
And you just kind of balance everything. COVID hit just a little bit after he was born, so it turned out kind of a blessing in disguise from a mothering perspective, because I didn't really have a plan for what we do to look after him while I kept up with, I work full time and mayor is a part-time job. So I'm balancing that and, and a blessing baby as well. And I have 2 other kids, one who is a sophomore at University of Florida and another who is a junior at Oviedo High School.
And when do you find time for you?
Well, hanging out with my family, like that counts as you time, right?
It depends on who you ask, Mayor. Listen, before you go, we do have a few more questions for you. We want to play a quick game of rapid fire with you.
Okay.
Are you down to do that?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, my only ask is that you don't think too hard on it.
Okay.
Say the first thing that comes to mind, all right?
Okay.
Okay, here we go. First thing, coffee or energy drink?
Coffee.
Movie or TV show?
Ooh, TV show.
Text or call?
Oh, I'm afraid of both of them. Email. I guess text is next.
Okay. What's one item in your purse right now that belongs to the kids?
Oh, nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Good for you. Because I'm finding all types of junk at the bottom of my purse right about now. Okay, what's harder, running a city council meeting or bedtime negotiations with your kid?
Oh, bedtime negotiations, absolutely.
If you could outsource one chore forever, what would it be?
Ooh, mopping.
I hate it too. Oh my goodness. What's your favorite food to treat yourself when you finally get a little me time?
Oh, that's hard. There's so many. But right now, I am hooked on Dairy Queen Blizzards.
Ooh.
Choco Brownie Extreme, chocolate ice cream instead of vanilla.
I like that. I like where you're going with that. Finish the sentence. The only time my house is perfectly clean is when?
The kids have not been home a long time.
That's so good. Oh my gosh. Oviedo Mayor Megan Sladek, thank you so much for dropping by the 407 today.
Oh, it's been a pleasure.
Oh, so much fun getting to know you a little more. Well, the future of restaurants and pizzerias took center stage at the Orange County Convention Center this week. David Martin dishes up what you might see at your favorite eatery in years to come.
2 different expos under one roof. The Florida Restaurant Show and the Pizza Tomorrow Summit, both promising resources and connections for the 300 vendors to do better business.
When you're in the food service business, anybody that's running an operation like that is constantly looking for a way to set themselves apart, whether that's in the consumer-facing element of their business or on the back end and how they run and how they operate their business. And that's what we do, is we bring all of that network of suppliers into one place so they can meet face-to-face, shake hands, understand who they're doing business with.
600 booths full of the latest and greatest cannolis, pizzas, pastas, ovens, oil filters, beverage dispensers, tealess teas, restaurant furniture, even celebrities like the 1991 Washington Redskins Super Bowl champ, Fred Stokes.
After your football career, 20 years almost in the food industry, what are you making for us?
We've got Fred Stokes sausage.
We've got French smoked bacon. The sausage is gluten-free, and the bacon is hickory smoked. Come on, baby. It can't get any better than that.
Amy and Danielle, you can eat this at the Crooked Can Brewery up there in Winter Garden. What's that meat? Petty's?
Petty's meat.
In Longwood?
In Longwood. You can go there and pick it up personally. Other than that, it's at hotels, restaurants, sports bars, and the whole 9 yards.
But it was the United States pizza team that stole the show all week. Veteran pizza pie makers who compete all over the world. Young up-and-comers, too.
Yeah, the Hulk move. We'll give you a break there. It looks great. What's your name?
George Taylor.
George. And where are you from, George?
I'm from upstate New York.
Upstate New York. On a scale of 1 to 10, how's he doing at the spread?
He's out of 10. He's out of 10. Rico knows what he's doing.
Watch this, Amy and Danielle. Oh, over the shoulder. Amazing. Oh, he's on the ground, through the legs. Woohoo! How's our pizza looking, boys? Because we are, that's the fastest breakfast pizza ever made. He's on the table doing it. Over the legs, under the legs. There you go. High quality entertainment here at the Pizza Tomorrow Summit. Oh, I love it.
At the Orange County Convention Center, David Martin, the 407.
Oh, that's so good. All right, the votes are in for Choose the News. We asked you all to let us know which story you'd like to see between a crow throw, a hot rod pork chop, and a grumpy guide. Well, the winner is a hot rod pork chop. Listen to this. Officers chased a loose pig along a busy highway in New Mexico. In a Facebook post, the department said officers responded to a call unlike any other. A suspect on the run with 4 legs, a snout, and a surprisingly good set of wheels. The officers were eventually able to nab the porky perpetrator. It was taken to a shelter for care. Now it's unclear if the pig is a pet or where exactly it came from. Coming up, giant monsters? Easy. High school homework and navigating dating? That is the real challenge. For years, the Power Rangers have been defined by their suits, their Zords, and their commitment to saving the world. But this week, we go beyond the color code. Some of the Power Rangers we grew up watching in the 90s are stopping by the 407 when you can meet them in real life. And don't forget to help us out with the 407's Turkey Trouble Daily Question. We're asking, are you charging for Thanksgiving dinner? Scan the QR code and let me know. A new Washington Post column started this conversation before you judge. The article titled, If Money is Tight, Is It Okay to Charge Guests for Thanksgiving Dinner? Well, they write about one person who attended a Thanksgiving dinner where their aunt charged $10 and even had the nerve to have a tip jar on the table. Yes. Well, similarly, a debate was sparked on Reddit last year when a student hosting a Friendsgiving potluck dinner asked for $12 per person to cover the cost of the turkey. Things are expensive. I'd like to know your thoughts. Scan the QR code and let me know what you're thinking. have stood the test of time. For more than 30 years, the Power Rangers have protected us from giant monsters, intergalactic rulers, and the endless threat of the Putty Patrol. Their job descriptions involve karate, courage, and piloting giant biomechanical robots. And I bet you didn't know, you can meet these iconic heroes this weekend in Orlando. Some of the Power Rangers we grew up watching on TV are joining us here on the 407. So good to see you, ladies. Hi. Oh my God. Listen, we are fangirling out around here today. We've got Karen Ashley, who is a yellow Mighty Morphin Power Ranger, Catherine Sutherland, the pink Mighty Morphin Power Ranger, Sasha Craig, a Lightspeed Rescue Yellow Ranger, and Nakia Burris, a yellow Zeo. Now, this is the ultimate girl power squad.
Yes.
I am here for it. I love everything about this. So there's a big convention that's happening this weekend in Orlando. Tell us, what can fans expect?
Well, we're going to be at Ranger Stop. It's going to be at the Doubletree at SeaWorld in Orlando, and we're so excited. If you want to meet your favorite superheroes from the original season all the way to the current season, we've got probably over 400 or 40 Power Rangers.
Wow.
We'll have, yeah, we have 400. We also have the original cast from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so it's going to be a yeah. So we're going to have a fun family weekend.
Yes. So it's going to be really exciting. Listen, our newsroom is super excited that you all are here. They're kind of talking about which Power Ranger that they were. They tried to,
I'm just saying,
you know. I told them earlier that I couldn't pick a favorite. I absolutely loved all of them. But talk to me a little bit about what each color means to you all, kind of what it represents.
Well, the pink and yellow Rangers were the female Rangers, so we're kind of partial to the to that. Yes. But usually, well, in the earlier seasons anyway, the yellow Ranger was like the feisty, sassy, you know, she was just always like could handle herself, and the pink Ranger was usually the softer, like nurturing.
Yeah.
So.
But girl power, that's what it meant.
Absolutely.
Girl power.
Absolutely. You know,
they needed us.
Right.
The boys couldn't have handled it without us. We had to be there, you know.
Yeah. It was a lesson before we even knew it was a lesson.
Exactly.
Yes, because girls run the world.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the Power Ranger brand has truly stood the test of time with the first episode debuting back in 1993. So why do you all think that is? What is the secret to the success?
Did you want to speak?
No,
Sorry.
I'm good.
Oh, okay. I think a lot has to do with we're relatable. A lot of the things that I hear when people come to my table is we were their childhood.
Yes.
We helped them stand up to their bullies. We encouraged them to get into martial arts. We had to do public service announcements as well because they were beating up one another. But that's a whole nother situation. But I just felt like we were relatable. We were a diverse group of characters that wasn't as common back in the 90s, you know?
Yeah, every single kid had a Power Ranger that looked like them, that they could identify with, and every kid got to save the world, you know, through us. So it was just a wonderful, empowering moment for young adults.
Absolutely. Okay, if you all are up for a little bit of fun, we want to play a quick game of trivia with you all. Okay, first up, what city did the Power Rangers protect? Go ahead, just blurt it out. Okay, so this next one is kind of a two-for here.
Okay.
One, who was the first Power Ranger villain?
Rita.
Rita Repulsa.
Rita Repulsa.
Oh, yes. And who replaced Rita Repulsa?
Divatox.
No.
No.
The Machine
Lord
Empire.
Zed.
Oh, the Machine.
Lord Zed.
Well, they
Machine
teamed up.
Empire. They were together.
But Lord Zed was the next villain that came through, right?
Lord Zed. Yes.
All right.
Okay. And then I don't think that we have any more.
You
I can't believe it.
We're not good at Power Ranger.
That's good. Mine was Mariner Bay. I had we had other bad guys.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's 30 years of Power Rangers, so they're all like in space, and you know.
Who were your villains?
Why are you putting me on the spot like that? we had Diabolico, and we had Vipra, and we had like a lot of great villains. Yeah.
Oh, so good. We could talk about this for days. Yeah. But listen, ladies of the Power Rangers, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
And again, people are going to be able to find you all where this weekend?
At Ranger Stop. We will be at the DoubleTree at SeaWorld, and you've got to come see us. Tickets are still available. Bring the family, bring everyone. It will be fun.
There's so many.
Go on.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of Rangers in suit also. So they'll be in suit. So if you want that, photo with your favorite Ranger, you can have that opportunity too.
Excellent. Oh my gosh, it was so good catching up with you all. We certainly appreciate you dropping by. All right, coming up, a happy little auction raises big bucks for public broadcasting. The true value behind some of Bob Ross's paintings. And we're checking back in with Lauren Margolis. Don't forget to help us with the 407's Turkey Trouble Daily Question. We're asking, are you charging for Thanksgiving dinner? To get a plate, I gotta pay? Scan the QR code and let me know. All right, here's the backstory really quickly. A new Washington Post article titled, "If Money is Tight, Is It Okay to Charge Guests for Thanksgiving Dinner?" They write about one person who attended a Thanksgiving dinner where their aunt charged $10 and had a tip jar. Let us know your thoughts. We'll be right back. We sent Lauren Margolis on a mission to find the most Florida tree at Festival of Trees opening this weekend at the Orlando Museum of Art. We're checking back in now to see what she's found. So, Lauren, which tree do you think is the most Florida?
Well, I think I found a few actually, but isn't this one beautiful? Not Florida though. So come with me and we're going to check out exactly what I found. The first one I'm going to show you over here is the 407 tree. This one reminded me of our show because of all the colors, the 407 colors here on the tree. So Donna, can you tell us a little bit about this one specifically?
I'd be happy to. The name of this tree is a glittering celebration, and personally I love that because that kind of leans into my event theme, which is a season of celebration. But I also love this tree so much because not only does it represent a little bit of Florida, but also autumn colors and just the overall holiday season.
Yes, I think this one just reminded me so much of the 407. Before we head out though, can you tell me a little bit about the event, when it's going, how long it's going on, the fundraising?
Oh, absolutely. So we kick off tomorrow night with our opening night party, and then general admission starts Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. We go 10 to 5 every day for 10 days straight. We're going to have a lot of fun. We have a lot of special appearances, some Wicked characters for photo ops, some ticket giveaways for Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, all kinds of fun things that everybody might like. Of course, all the wreaths and the trees, all the wonderful shopping that you can do. It's a really fun thing for the family. We also have a cafe, too, so you can stay all day and have lunch.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Donna. How do you think I did, Marlisa?
Oh, Lauren, spot on. Perfect. Listen, you have a perfect record at this point with these challenges.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Lauren.
You do challenge me quite a bit.
I do. All right, well, bet you didn't know Bob Ross is still making happy little magic even 30 years after his death. 3 of his original paintings sold for more than $600,000 yesterday at a live auction in Los Angeles, far above expectations. The money will go to help public television stations hurting from federal funding cuts, which his family says honors his legacy of creativity, kindness, and support for the arts. 3 more of Ross's paintings will be up for auction in January. We asked earlier in the show, well, throughout the show, are you charging for Thanksgiving dinner? One person attended a Thanksgiving dinner where their aunt charged $10 for a plate and even had a tip jar. Overwhelmingly, people are saying they are not charging for Thanksgiving meals. 95% of you said nope. Only 5% said yes. So my next question, what are you making and how much are you charging? Scan the QR code and let me know by heading to the Sound Off tab. I've got to hear this. All right, we could all use a reason to smile on this Thursday, so it's time to give me something good. Today we are celebrating a 4-legged birthday. Check it out. K9 Siggy from the Seminole County Sheriff's Office turned 2 this week. Deputies treated Siggy to extra belly rubs and plenty of treats. He's on the School Safety and Security Division and works hard to keep schools in Seminole County safe. Happy birthday, K9 Siggy, from everyone here at the 407. If you have someone in mind for this segment, you can give them a special shout out right here on the 407. Just head to fox35orlando.com/your407 under the Give Me Something Good tab and send us a picture or a video. Remember, this is our place to come together. Stick around. Fox 35 News at 5 is next, and I'll see you soon.
now on Fox 35 News at 5. Back to business.
So with my signature, the federal government will now resume normal operations.
The federal government is back open, but things are not back to normal.
It's the uncertainty, the unknown, that's really kind of scary.
Flights are still grounded.
Our flights got delayed, and there's nothing really I can do about it.
Snap accounts are still empty.
That's confusing. What are we supposed to do?
Fox 35 is going through the details of the deal to see how it impacts you.
The longest government shutdown in U.S. history has finally come to an end. Thanks for joining us here at 5. I'm John Brown.
And I'm Luann Sorrell. After 43 days of turmoil with partial SNAP benefits, no paychecks, and major flight disruptions, some relief should soon be on the way. The new agreement funds 3 annual spending bills and extends the rest of the government funding through January 30th. It also increases funding for SNAP benefits and includes a plan to give air traffic controllers 70% of their back pay within 48 hours. Republicans also promised to hold a vote by mid-December to extend health care subsidies, but many Democrats are not happy with this deal to reopen the government without the health care extension. During the signing of the bill, President Donald Trump says the shutdown cost the country $1.5 trillion.
Republicans never wanted a shutdown and voted 15 times for a clean continuation of funding. There's never been a time when one or the other party ever didn't sign a continuation. It's just a continuation, not a big deal. It's a continuation, and we'll talk later.
This bill also reverses the firing of federal workers that took place during the shutdown, and it protects workers from further layoffs at least through January. Well, even with the government back open, flight troubles continue.
The FAA issued a new emergency order today. That means flight reductions will remain at 6% for now. Orlando International Airport is still seeing some major disruptions. Today alone, there were over 40 cancellations and nearly 70 delays. Southwest accounted for about 1/3 of those. It could take up to a week for flight schedules to return to normal as air traffic controllers get back on the job. And Fox 35's Marie Ettinger is live at the airport today. So, Marie, what else does this new emergency order say?
Well, it says we're not out of the woods just yet, and we don't know exactly when we will be. And you can see that. It's evident on the flight boards. You can notice behind me plenty of yellow on there, a few things highlighted in red. So that's what we're dealing with here. The only hope is that it'll improve pretty soon. Since Friday, thousands of flights have been canceled or delayed when the recent restrictions went into effect as part of the government shutdown. The flight reductions will still be felt at 40 major U.S. airports, including Orlando International Airport. According to an emergency order issued today, the FAA says those cutbacks will stick around until further notice.
It's kind of difficult to understand and know that my plane might get delayed one of the biggest holidays where you literally only get a week off.
But the agency says more air traffic controllers are coming to work, so there's no need for additional cuts. They want to keep monitoring that and make sure things are safe before they ramp all the way back up.
It's the uncertainty, the unknown, that's really kind of scary. And I hope that America catches up and things get back to normal.
Aviation experts say it could still take a few days before things return back to normal.
Recovery should be relatively quick, most of it in a few days, and certainly in a week. We should be back to 100%.
And that's good news because the busy Thanksgiving travel week is right around the corner.
We should be in good shape for Thanksgiving.
The Orlando Aviation Authority is still encouraging people to check with their airline carriers before they get on a flight just to make sure everything's okay. Live at the Orlando International Airport, Marie Ettinger, Fox 35 News.
Thanks, Marie. And some TSA agents will be getting a big bonus following the vote last night. The Secretary of Homeland Security announced today that TSA employees who did not skip work during the shutdown will get a $10,000 bonus. President Trump floated that idea earlier this week. Secretary Kristi Noem says the bonus will be paid in addition to back pay for those workers.
And what that means is that we are going to not only continue their paychecks like they should have received all along, but also they're going to get a bonus check for stepping up, taking on extra shifts, for showing up each and every day, for serving the American people, and taking seriously the mission that the Department of Homeland Security takes seriously and that they take seriously every single day.
The Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy already said he supports giving bonuses to workers who did not take time off.
As for the SNAP program, 42 million Americans are still waiting for their full November benefits. The deal to reopen the government calls for restarting that program, but it does not say exactly when the benefits will be loaded onto debit cards. The Department of Agriculture says the funds could be available 24 hours after the government reopens, and the president signed the deal last night. Be sure to stay with Fox 35 as we continue to follow the reopening of the government. We are tracking SNAP payments, flights, and more with the Fox Local app. It's free to download on all of your smart devices.
Got some breaking news right now. An Orlando police officer will not face charges after a deadly incident involving an innocent bystander. Officer Christopher Moulton was trying to arrest a man for driving with an unreadable license plate back in February. That led to a chase that ended with the victim, 56-year-old Gerald Neal, being pinned underneath the suspect's car, and also the police cruiser. Neal died at the scene. The state attorney's office was considering charging Officer Moulton with manslaughter, but now says there is not enough proof of negligence on his part. The suspect has been charged with vehicular homicide. Also, new details today. The Florida Board of Education Commissioner has been keeping an eye on the Alachua County School Board and its Vice Chair, Tina Certain, in particular.
You may remember she's accused of making inappropriate comments about Charlie Kirk just days after his murder. And today, she defended those comments. Fox 35's Garrett Weimer is joining us live now. So, Garrett, she claims her comments are protected.
Yeah, she says the main portion of the comments the board was discussing were made on her personal Facebook account.
The Florida Board of Education has a number of complaints about the Alachua County School Board and its Vice Chair, Tina Certain. The one discussed most thoroughly today was about a Facebook comment she made making light of the murder of political activist Charlie Kirk.
I've been horrified and outraged by the public posts and comments coming from Vice Chair Certain. Posts that are egregious for anyone to make, let alone an elected school board leader.
Certain argued she made the comment on a Sunday from her personal Facebook profile, not one representing the board or school district.
Elected officials do not surrender their constitutional rights upon assuming office. My personal Facebook comment, while frank and imperfectly worded, was constitutionally protected speech.
The board told Certain there were other offensive comments on her Facebook too, talking about white people and Asian people and others she's supposed to represent.
How do you think your words affect those students who look to you to support them and to care about them personally and their education?
Ms. Certain, you're recognized.
On advice of my counsel, I would decline to answer that.
Certain fielded questions from each board member. Some attacked her character, her judgment, her ability to do her job. She argued her commitment to students isn't really in question. Instead,
for me to be here today, I believe it raises serious questions about viewpoint discrimination, attempting to punish me, not for misconduct, but for expressing a perspective that you all don't agree with.
The next Alachua County School Board meeting is coming up on Wednesday. Garrett Weimer, Fox 35 News.
Garrett, thank you. The teenager charged in the deadly Halloween mass shooting in Orlando wants to go to trial. Jalen Edgar was 17 years old when he allegedly shot 9 people, killing 2 men last year. He was in court this morning. He's charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and 7 counts of attempted murder. If found guilty, he faces life in prison. His trial is now set to start January 12th.
Fox 35 News update right now. Florida State University football player Ethan Pritchard left a rehabilitation center in Jacksonville today. He's been going through physical therapy after he was shot in the head back in August. The former Seminole High School football star was shot while driving his family home after FSU's big win over Alabama back in week 1. Now, in a recent post to a Facebook group, Ethan is going back to Tallahassee to continue his recovery. 4 suspects are behind bars.
Coming up next here on Fox 35 News at 5, a seating change at SeaWorld has some people standing up in protest.
It was very disappointing. I'm very disappointed in SeaWorld.
The amusement park is putting the brakes on certain mobility devices.
And Disney stock plummeted today. We have a closer look at why their earnings report was not what investors wanted to hear.
Plus, the Orlando Pride are kicking practice into high gear. They are just 1 win away from another trip to the championship. Their star not mincing words.
At the same time, I like when I see people talk so much about pride and then don't give so credit for.
We're sitting down with the team as they get ready for their toughest test of the season. Plus, Noah.
And Louis, not as cold tonight as recent nights, into the 50s for lows in Orlando for the first time in almost a week. We'll talk about when high 80s could be making a return in just a few minutes.
And you're watching Fox 35 News at 5 on this beautiful Thursday evening in Orlando.
In the tropics, we are watching nothing right now in terms of new areas of potential development over the next 7 days. If we do get another system after Melissa, Nestor remains the next name up. Hurricane season ends at the end of November.
New at 5, if you plan on visiting SeaWorld anytime soon, leave the walkers with those seats at home.
Yeah, the amusement park is updating their policies and banning what are known as rollators from the property. Fox 35's Hannah McKenzie is live in Orlando tonight. So, Hannah, you spoke with the woman who's upset about this change.
I did. She tells me this SeaWorld policy change came as a shock, and she adds this is going to exclude a large group of people who depend on these specific types of walkers to get around. The coaster capital of Orlando, putting the brakes on certain mobility devices.
I love SeaWorld. It is my favorite place at Christmas.
Nancy Schwartz and her husband go 3 times a week, but their holiday tradition halted Saturday when security wouldn't let Schwartz in with her wheeled walker with a seat.
This is the walker that I was using.
She tells Fox 35 she'd been at the park with the same device less than 24 hours before. It's been with her at SeaWorld dozens of times. Schwartz even has this red placard given to her by park staff.
Walkers, rollators must not be used as wheelchairs. Failure to comply will result in removal from the park without refund. So you signed something to get this?
Yes.
And there was no problem with it prior?
No problem prior, and Friday night I used it, Saturday night it was a problem.
SeaWorld's policy seemingly changing overnight. No notice, no warning. We reached out. A spokesperson telling us SeaWorld Orlando recently updated their guidance regarding rollators and wheeled walkers with seats, adding, quote, "These devices can pose a safety concern if not used in accordance with manufacturer requirements, which strictly prohibit using them as a wheelchair. Rollator and wheeled walkers without seats are permitted, and other mobility options such as wheelchairs and electronic convenience vehicles are available for guests." Schwartz doesn't need a wheelchair. She's worked hard to maintain her independence on her feet. She's looked all over for a walker or rollator that satisfies SeaWorld's new policy. No luck.
The walkers that don't have seats also don't have wheels. They have like the tennis balls in front, or they're the kind that you have to pick up and carry. So it's very disappointing. I'm very disappointed in SeaWorld, but I'd really like to see them include everybody in their disability policy.
And just to make it clear again, SeaWorld says all walkers and rollators without seats are still permitted in their park. Live in Orlando, Hannah McKenzie, Fox 35 News.
Thanks, Hannah. Now, when it comes to walker policies at other theme parks, here's what we found. The rollators are allowed at Disney World, Universal Studios, and Epic Universe. Busch Gardens also allows walkers with seats. From Fox 35 Mission Control, double launch day on the Space Coast.
Yeah, right now we are counting down to the second launch out there. About an hour ago, the New Glenn rocket finally took flight, and it was met with quite the roar. Take a listen.
Lift up, defective. First motion.
As you heard there, lots of cheers from Space Control. Blue Origin's New Glenn rocket launched just before 4 o'clock. It is sending 2 satellites to Mars. Liftoff was postponed twice, once for weather, then again for solar activity. And that space weather is what also made the Northern Lights visible here in Central Florida. And here is a live look at the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station tonight. It is T-minus 5 hours until the next launch out there. United Launch Alliance is sending 3 satellites into space tonight. Liftoff is set for 10:04. If it happens, we're going to bring it to you live on Fox 35 News at 10.
All right, looking great for a night launch tonight, and Noah Bergen's with us right now.
Yeah, a little cool out there. Are we going to start warming up soon?
Big time. And you know, that launch is going to be highly visible tonight. How clear it is. So, you know, you'll be able to see that one from super far away.
Especially at 10 o'clock. Nice.
Yeah, even from past Orlando, you'll be able to look to the east and see that. Oftentimes in the summer, you know, you can't see it from clouds. So if you haven't seen one in a minute, go look outside tonight after about 10 o'clock. That should be pretty good. Hope you've had a great day on this Thursday. The weekend's almost here, and it's going to be a lovely weekend out there. You see the bottom left of your screen here from Lake Fairview. A couple of people out on the lake right now. Beautiful evening for that. We're going to get warmer. Things are going to get back to being Florida, especially by this time next week. No rain out there. That's Storm Tracker radar. Now, when we talk winter weather in Florida, it's always a game of is it a La Nina or an El Nino. A few winters ago, 2 years ago, we had an El Nino. You may remember if you were here, we had that was the weekend the Daytona 500 got washed out. It rained a lot. We had a lot of storms. This winter is the exact opposite. It's going to be very, very dry here in the Sunshine State. And notice on the satellite today, hardly any clouds over the state. Very dry air is over us. In fact, if you've noticed dry lips or dry skin, it's because we have essentially desert air over Florida right now with remarkably low humidity. Across the country, most of the U.S. is pretty calm and quiet. Over the next 7 days, the rain is 0 in the Carolinas and Florida. A couple of storm systems next week in the Heartland and the Midwest, and then also in California. That's probably the big headline heading into the weekend and the next week. For us here, this is not a big deal in the summer, but for LA, that's a huge deal. This is headline making weather out there for them. 5 to 8 inches of rain. There'll be some flooding and maybe even a chance of a water spout coming in Orange County here. That's in coastal California over the next few days. So the warmth coming here is building in the plains. We've got temperatures well into the 70s up into Kansas and Nebraska. That'll be our weather heading into next week. It's just about 73 right now in Orlando, 74 in Ocala, sitting in the 60s on the beaches, a little bit of a wind off the water. Now here's that temperature outlook heading into the end of next week. Well above average. I think 80s are pretty much a lock at this point, maybe even some upper 80s, and often it's the case when it's really warm in the east. It's going to be really cool out west and also very wet with a lot of rain. All right, so over the next few days, average high is about 79, and lo and behold, we're finally back there after the brief shot of winter, but that will not be the only shot of winter, of course, over the next few months. Morning lows in the 50s, back into the 60s by Monday and Tuesday of next week. And again, those rain chances sitting at 0 heading through next Tuesday. All right, so here's that 7-day tonight. Lots of sunshine into next week. By this time next week, 84 to 88 looks to be a good bet across Orlando.
All right, Noah, thank you. Coming up next here on Fox 35 News at 5, no contract could mean no coffee. Beware of Red Cup Rebellion.
And coming up all new at 6, there's a new member of the Brevard County Sheriff's Office. We meet the K-9 that recently joined the force.
the Business Watch tonight, Disney stocks took a tumble today. $22 billion is how much Disney earned this past quarter.
May sound like a lot of money. It is, but it's actually less than the expectations. Now, this is what caused the stock to fall about 8% today. Disney had their quarterly earnings call this morning, and it was a mixed bag of numbers. Disney reported that they're making more money from streaming services and the theme parks, but their TV and movie businesses were below expectations. First up, the theme parks and experiences saw their income rising 13% to $1.8 billion. That was more than half of the company's profit. On the streaming side, Disney Plus added 3.8 million subscribers, which was 1 million more than they expected. Now remember, the Jimmy Kimmel controversy happened during that quarter, but they also said that the ongoing negotiations with YouTube TV could also have a big impact on their operations.
Also on the Business Watch, unionized Starbucks workers walked off the job this morning. They are calling out what they call unfair labor practices.
No contract, no coffee. No contract, no coffee. No contract, no coffee.
You heard him say it there, no contract, no coffee. Today is Red Cup Day, where you get a free cup when you order a holiday drink. It's a really busy day for Starbucks. Well, the workers say they are calling their protest Red Cup Rebellion. The strike is taking place in more than 40 cities nationwide. Workers say they're striking because Starbucks still has not reached a contract agreement with the union. Starbucks says most locations are operating as usual. Well, coming up next at 5:30, another kick closer to a championship.
The Orlando Pride getting ready for a big match this weekend, right, Jonah?
That's right, John. The Orlando Pride are looking for back-to-back titles, and we caught up with the team ahead of their semifinals match against Gotham. We'll have that story for you coming your way.
Plus, the big story at 5:30, homeowners still trying to get their heads above water. Esther.
John, the feds are here to help with flooding in Titusville. Coming up, see what new loans you could qualify for after historic rainfall struck the Space Coast.
have some breaking news right now. The neighborhood bridge that partially collapsed in Eustis last month is now back open.
The bridge crumbled following torrential rain. Fox 35's Stephanie Buffamonte is live at that neighborhood tonight. And Stephanie, officials say this was actually completed ahead of schedule.
Way ahead of schedule, and just take a look. It is open. We've seen some cars drive right over it. People are very happy with this news. The fire chief told us a project like this can sometimes take 4 months, but in fact this took 6 days, and that is because they had people working around the clock. They had a lot of people working on this project, and they just had a lot of resources to make sure that they got this done. I actually have a resident with me here right now. You just drove your truck over it. How did it feel to finally kind of get back to normal, be able to drive home, something a lot of us, normally don't think it's something that you need every day?
Yeah, it's a great feeling. I have to give credit to the city of Eustis for stepping in and helping with this. We would still be waiting on insurance claims and everything with the HOA, so they were a huge help. But I'm amazed that they did this so fast, and we're very happy to be home.
They got this work done in 6 days. Yeah. Were you anticipating it was going to take a lot longer?
Yeah, we were thinking Thanksgiving would be the best case scenario, and I'm very surprised.
What does this mean to your family? I know we just spoke with your wife, and she was saying how great it was to, just be a little bit back to normal. What does it mean to your family, especially like you're saying Thanksgiving is around the corner?
Yeah, you don't realize how tied you are to your home until you don't have it. So it's great. We have my daughter and 2 grandchildren living with us too, and we all have different schedules, so it was very hectic. We were lucky enough to stay with some friends. They offered their home to us. They're away in Colorado, and they offered their home to us. So we were lucky, but a lot of our neighbors had nobody to turn to, so they relied on the county to help them with housing.
And just real quick, what was life like for the last 2 weeks for you and your family?
Oh, living out of a suitcase, eating at restaurants or takeout food. It was terrible. It could have been worse. We're grateful that we still have our home. So yeah, it was definitely not fun.
Well, I'm so sorry you had to go through that, but I'm glad you're able to drive your truck on home, go enjoy dinner with your family, and thank you for chatting with us.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And again, just to show you one more time, you could see it is open right now. They finished the work at 3:30, and the second that it opened and we moved out of the way, a line of cars started going in. A lot of people waiting to be able to park their car in their driveway. But for now, we'll send it back to you.
Stephanie, I know they are so happy tonight. Thank you. Well, that historic flooding also affected Titusville, and people there are now getting some much-needed help. With the shutdown now over, the federal government has boots on the ground in Brevard County to help homeowners struggling to stay afloat. And the flooding in Titusville was so bad that some homeowners were trapped in their homes for days.
Yeah, this past weekend, it only took an inch of rain to flood parts of the city again. But now relief in the form of government loans could be on the way. Fox 35's Esther Bauer is live in Titusville tonight. So, Esther, a lot of people are going to qualify for these loans, too.
John, right. So these are not just for small businesses. These loans can be for nonprofits, homeowners, even renters can qualify for these loans. Teams are going to be set up here at the library behind me through December, just wanting to make sure people have the resources and the money to start rebuilding their properties. Historic flash flooding hurt hundreds of families across Central Florida.
We just have never seen flooding like this ever, and it's pretty devastating.
This isn't just water. This car's gone. This car's gone.
The water may be gone now, but families still have a lot of work to do.
It's ruined everything in our workshop, garage, and back patio.
Helping families fix what's ruined is why the Small Business Administration moved into the Titusville Library on Thursday.
We have loans at very low interest rates for homeowners and small businesses, nonprofits, etc.
Reps are ready with information to see if a loan from the U.S. Treasury is right for you. Homeowners can qualify for up to $500,000, and small businesses could receive up to $2 million. You do have to prove the disaster you're dealing with came from the flash floods on October 26th.
We totaled out our truck because we were trying to get people in and out.
It's not just homes. We understand that vehicles also were damaged in this, and so vehicles, of course, are covered under these loans.
The loans cover physical damage and can also help businesses keep up with expenses if they've had to close.
provide working capital to meet your, let's say, your monthly obligations, your overhead, your payroll, et cetera, et cetera.
If you submit an application, you should know in about a month how much you'll qualify for.
Our loan rates are extremely low. Homeowners can qualify for a loan of 3% interest rate. Businesses for economic injury can qualify for 4%. These loans are certainly a lot lower than you might experience in the private market.
And this help is not just for people here on the Space Coast. If you experience damage from the flash floods in Volusia, Orange, Osceola, and Seminole counties, you can also come out here to get some help in person. You can also go online or call. Reporting live in Titusville, Esther Bauer, Fox 35 News.
Thanks, Esther. Across Florida, ICE officials announced the arrest of hundreds of illegal immigrants as a part of what they're calling Operation Criminal Return. That 10-day operation targeted sex offenders who were here in the U.S. illegally. More than 230 people were arrested all across Florida in just about a week. According to the deputy director of ICE, 54 sexual predators, 164 offenders of sexual crimes, and 2 convicted murderers were all caught.
As Secretary Noem coined it just yesterday, Operation Dirtbag, to go after people who have attacked children in our communities. In just 10 days, we've been able to remove, in partnership with the state of Florida, over 230 of the worst heinous criminals from their streets.
Governor Ron DeSantis was supposed to be at today's news conference, but he wasn't able to make it due to mechanical difficulties with the state's aircraft.
In Orange County, 7 people are without homes tonight after an early morning apartment fire. Take a look. Firefighters were called to the apartment complex right along Lyon Street near Clemente Middle School. Well, Fox 35 crews were on the scene this morning, and we saw residents outside standing, some barefoot. Officials say it started in a second-floor apartment. They say 4 people were treated at the scene, but no one had to go to the hospital. The cause of the fire is still under investigation.
From the Fox 35 Sports Zone, the Orlando Pride gearing up for a big semifinal match this Sunday.
That's right, and if they win, they're going to be another step closer to becoming only the 3rd team in NWSL history to win back-to-back championships. Fox 35 sports reporter Jonah Karp is joining us live from their training field in Sanford tonight. So, Jonah, it's really hard to believe that they're just 1 win away from going to the championship game again.
Well, Luann, winners find ways to win, and this Orlando Pride team is full of winners. Hasn't exactly been a smooth season, kind of like a U-shape. Started off great, then the Pride struggled to win matches come summertime, but the last few weeks, they were back on the uptick, and it's gotten them to the verge of yet another championship appearance.
It is Orlando Pride who are the NWSL champions.
A year after hoisting the NWSL championship trophy, the Pride are right back where they want to be, chasing another title.
We talking so much about this season, and of course compare like same situation with the last season. Of course, we don't did like the same that we did last year, but we still have the same players here and the same mentality, and still work so hard and still believe.
The defending NWSL champs are back in the semis for a 2nd year in a row, fueled by a belief that even after lifting the trophy last year, no one is taking them seriously.
At the same time, I like when I see people talk so much about Pride and then don't give so credit for, because make me feel good. Make me feel like, yeah, I want to go and play and improve them. They are completely wrong.
The road to repeat hasn't been easy, but the Orlando Pride are proving once again they're built for the moment. The defending champs entered the playoffs as the number 4 seed and took care of business last weekend, knocking out number 5, Seattle, in front of a fired-up home crowd.
If I know anything about this group, it's they know how to navigate adversity. They thrive in it. They thrive when there's doubters and there's haters out there questioning whether or not they can pull things together. And to be able to end the season on a high note the way that we did and make a strong push to finish in top 4, host a quarterfinal, and now be fortunate enough to be able to host a semifinal is really exciting.
Now it's on to the semifinals, a showdown between the 2023 and 2024 champions. Orlando will welcome Gotham FC to town. They just pulled off the biggest upset in NWSL playoffs history, taking down Shield winners Kansas City on the road.
I think, you know, the crowd that we had for the quarterfinals last week was incredible, so I'm hoping that we get the same, you know, kind of energy and vibes out there. We had close to 11,500 people for the quarterfinal. We want to beat that for the semifinal. So yeah, 3 p.m. Sunday at Enter & Co. I hope to see everybody out there. We need you. We need loud. And, you know, Gotham's going to be a difficult team to beat. They're a very strong team as well, so that energy of the crowd is going to be crucial.
All right, well, you heard Haley right there. It's worth repeating, though. Enter & Co Stadium's the place to be on Sunday afternoon. The match starts at 3 o'clock. It'll be a fun time. It's Gotham versus Orlando. Winner goes to the championship, guys.
All right, very cool. Fingers crossed, Jonah. Thank you. Well, coming up here on Fox 35 News at 5, Santa's elves aren't the only holiday helpers this season.
Yeah, shoppers are turning to a new type of tech before they do their Christmas shopping this year. Plus, a gloomy job picture for Gen Z. How tech is biting back at this generation in a big way.
And we're saving you some cash tonight in the Fox 35 Pump Patrol. We found gas for $2.67. That's at the Costco on Waterbridge Boulevard in Orlando. More news right after this.
New tonight, the generation that was raised on the internet and social media learning that technology can have a big negative side. We're talking Gen Z, people ages 13 to 28.
Yeah, they're trying to launch their careers, but in an ironic twist, I should say,
right.
They're running into stiff competition not only from each other, but also AI. Fox 35's Caroline Shively has more.
If you're wondering what Gen Z stands for, it might be Generation Zero jobs. A bit of an exaggeration, but for 20-somethings, it sure feels like it.
For those of us just graduating from college, we've been so excited to have a successful career, knowing that we've invested in our education, and then we're surprised to know that technology has replaced those jobs.
The unemployment rate for new entrants, including recent college grads and others trying to break into the full-time workforce, is at a 9-year high. Many of those new entrants are blaming artificial intelligence. According to Jobber, 77% of Gen Zers say it's a top priority to choose a career not easily replaced by automation.
In my trade, in HVAC, you got a lot of climbing around to do up in the attics and stuff like that. And I mean, I've yet to see any AI or anything like that try to get up a ladder into the attic.
But for some careers, the competition from AI will just get tougher.
The overall AI market can be, greater than $1 trillion by the time we get to 2030.
That means Gen Z job hunters can't use the same playbook their parents did.
But we all make fun of the gender studies degrees, but we also have enough people getting communications degrees. We need to have more people in STEM, we need more people in trades, and we need more people that are becoming innovators.
New college grads are facing an especially hard time with an unemployment rate of 4.6% compared to the overall jobless rate of 4.3%. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox 35 News.
Holiday shopping season is already underway. Shoppers are now turning to AI as well in a big way this year. The professional services company called Accenture says that their annual survey shows 8 in 10 consumers plan to use AI tools for holiday shopping this year. But with all that new technology comes some new frustrations too. 85% of customers say they are overwhelmed with too many choices. But experts say that new AI tools can actually help streamline all of those options.
It's helping them with resolving this question around having overwhelming decisions, raising their level of confidence they're actually choosing the right things.
Shoppers aren't planning on slowing down this holiday season either. Almost 9 out of 10 say they plan to spend at least what they spent last year on holiday shopping. Live look right now from the Hard Rock Hotel in Daytona Beach. Looks beautiful out there right now. You can put away the jackets and the sweaters because, well, you know what? We're going to see some warm temps once again.
Yeah, it was feeling like the holidays the past few days. It was freezing outside, but now we're going to, get our summer weather back?
We are. We got it out of the way for now.
That's
good. Hopefully it's a down payment. We don't.
Is that the end of the winter? Can you go ahead and say that or no?
I didn't know better.
Not quite.
If I said that, there'd be snow in 2 weeks. So I've been down that road before. If you're not a fan of the cold, just take a look at the morning lows. They're trending up each and every morning through next week. Average morning low is about 60, and we'll be back to there by Sunday and Monday mornings heading into next week. Now, the rain is going to be 0 through at least the middle part of next week. All right, let's take a look at the futurecast. Tomorrow's weather today. Here's the Fox model. Noon at Friday. A little bit of a gentle northeast wind that'll keep the humidity low. Going into your Saturday, very nice. Now, one thing I forgot to mention about tomorrow is there could be some patchy fog in the morning, so watch out for that, especially before sunrise. Saturday's a beautiful day, very, very nice. Now, the high starts to slide to our east. What that means is the winds will come from the southwest. That starts the warming trend for Sunday into next week. Now, for the most part, our forecast is quiet, but I do think the end of November is going to be very busy for severe weather just to our north and our west. Right now, it looks like most of these systems will miss us, but that's speculation on the next 2.5 weeks, so things may change. Let me jump ahead with you to next week. So about a week from now, this is next Thursday, pretty big storm system looks like it'll wind up coming out of Texas, track towards Arkansas through the deep south, and you can see here it's a pretty potent low with a cold front. This is next Friday, and then maybe this is the next chance of rain here is next weekend. Generally, these things in winter, every few of them can give us a chance for strong storms or severe weather. This one doesn't, at least at this point. I mean, it's over a week out. Doesn't look like it will. Maybe just some showers. Probably the next chance of rain here is either Friday night or Saturday of next week. But you see there behind it, really cold air is going to come in hot on its heels. All right, so next Thursday, it does actually look like there'll be a pretty large area, maybe some significant severe weather, maybe even a regional tornado outbreak from Texas to New Orleans over towards southern Alabama, Mississippi, and through Arkansas. Then on Friday of next week, that does shift east to include at least part of Florida, maybe up in the Florida Panhandle, up through parts of Georgia, southern Tennessee, and then parts of Alabama a week from now. But again, that probably will be the next chance of any rain or precip, whatever is left of that front once it gets here, heading into the end part of next week. All right, so in terms of rain, we're pretty good for the next little while. In terms of tropics, we haven't talked about this much lately. There still is a chance something is going to try to form in the southern Caribbean over the next week and a half, but it doesn't look like even if it did, it would pose any threat to us. So at this point, without never saying never, I think we're going to probably be okay in Florida for this hurricane season, which we will put a close on it with how Melissa was, which will likely be a retired name when all is said and done for its devastation to Jamaica and eastern Cuba. This is still the Hurricane Center's outlook, just a small chance of something in the western Caribbean, but again, at this point, it doesn't really look like it's going to be much out there right now. All right, so here's the 7-day. Lots of sun tomorrow, 77. Again, watch out for that fog early in the morning. 80 on Saturday and Sunday, 81 once we get to Monday. Next week, we'll get back into the mid-80s, maybe a little bit of humidity. Actually, it may seem crazy to hear that after how cold it just was. Maybe a little bit humid. So the point is, if you had the windows open or the heat on, you probably can make it the next few days without the AC on, but definitely by Monday, and especially the middle of next week, the air conditioning definitely will be back on.
All right, coming up here on Fox 35 News, did someone say Trader Joe's? Daytona Beach is bracing for everything but the bagel sesame seasoning.
I don't know how to cook Indian food, but our frozen Indian fare is delicious.
When you can finally start shopping at that brand new supermarket.
Volusia County, Daytona Beach is trading up to Trader Joe's.
Supermarket's going to open up in less than 24 hours. The newest location is at the Tomoka Town Center. If you've seen the Trader Joe's grand openings in the past, you know there are going to be huge crowds out there. Fox 35 News spoke to the new store manager who said, get there early if you want to be some of the first in line.
A lot of excitement from our neighborhood customers, from our crew, also from myself and the rest of my team. We're ready to open these doors. Everybody is very excited. They've driven by and have given us thumbs up, and they're so excited to have us here. So I think tomorrow is going to be an amazing day for everybody in the community in Daytona.
Grand opening tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. We are working on a lot of stories coming up on the News Edge at 6.
And we start tonight with Fox 35's Marie Ettinger.
The government is 100% back open. I'll tell you why airlines are only 94% open.
A convicted murder rapist here in Brevard County is finally being put to death for a case that started back in 1979. Coming up, we hear from prosecutors directly involved in this case who say justice is long overdue.
Fox 35 News Edge at 6 starts now.
A former Marine who brutally raped, tortured, and killed a 6-year-old girl is being put to death tonight. Brian Jennings is getting ready for his execution right now, scheduled to start in just a few minutes. Thanks for joining us this evening. I'm John Brown.
And I'm Luann Sorrell. The crime happened back in 1979. Fox 35's Esther Bowers speaking exclusively with prosecutors who say that they're still haunted by this case.
Brian Jennings was first taken into custody here on the Space Coast 46 years ago for the chilling and horrifying rape and murder of a little girl. Now he's being put to death by the state. Rebecca Kunash's grave marks the spot where a 6-year-old's life was tragically taken. The crime is still on the minds of people in the community. Her grave is still decorated. We saw a stuffed elephant next to her tombstone.
Just what he did to her was horrific.
What Brian Jennings did still haunts Michael Hunt. He tried the former Marine in court back in 1982.
The death of an innocent child is something that you never forget.
Hunt says Jennings spotted Rebecca through a window at her home in Merritt Island back in 1979. He opened the window, abducted her out of bed while she was sleeping, and took her to a secluded canal near Girard, where he raped, drowned, and murdered her.
He's an evil, evil person, and that's why what happened happened.
What happened after his arrest frustrated state prosecutors for decades.
And in this case, 3 separate juries said death was appropriate. 3 separate trial judges said death was appropriate.
Jennings was tried in 1979, 82, and 86, but it's taken 46 years for his death sentence to go through.
To wait this long is not justice for Rebecca.
And going through trial after trial, delay after delay, took a severe toll on her parents. They got divorced because of it, and then Rebecca's father passed away.
It destroyed their family.
A family who lost a beloved child. Now the murderer will lose his life for the crime.
This person is the poster child of why we should have the death penalty.
Jennings will die by lethal injection at the Florida State Prison near Stark. And this death sentence will set a new record for the state. 16 death warrants have been signed and executed by Governor DeSantis. Reporting in Brevard County, Esther Bauer, Fox 35 News.
Well, the longest government shutdown in U.S. history has finally come to an end.
It's 43 days of fighting, partial SNAP benefits, no paychecks, and major flight disruptions. But some relief could finally be on the way. Fox 35's Marie Edinger joins us live from MCO tonight. So, Marie, how are things looking out there this evening?
They're like medium. You know, there are still a lot of flights that are canceled, a lot that are delayed. You can see that on the board over there. I would say the yellow is outweighing the red, but the red is something we have been expecting thanks to that executive order, the emergency order by the FAA that is set to continue. Since Friday, thousands of flights have been canceled or delayed when the recent restrictions went into effect as part of the government shutdown. The flight reductions will still be felt at 40 major U.S. airports, including Orlando International Airport. According to an emergency order issued today, the FAA says those cutbacks will stick around until further notice.
It's kind of difficult to understand and know that my plane might get delayed one of the biggest holidays where you literally only get a week off. But the agency says more air traffic controllers are coming to work, so there's no need for additional cuts. They want to keep monitoring that and make sure things are safe before they ramp all the way back up.
It's the uncertainty, the unknown, that's really kind of scary. And I hope that America catches up and things get back to normal.
Aviation experts say it could still take a few days before things return back to normal.
Recovery should be relatively quick, most of it in a few days, and certainly in a week. We should be back to 100%.
And that's good news because the busy Thanksgiving travel week is right around the corner.
We should be in good shape for Thanksgiving.
The Greater Orlando Aviation Authority says you should still check with your airline before you come to the airport just to make sure everything's going smoothly for your particular flight. Live at MCO, Marie Edinger, Fox 35 News.
And it's not just the airports that need to get back to normal. There is plenty of work to be done all across the government to get back to business as usual. Fox 35's Connor Hansen has more.
The 6-week stalemate is over. Now there's a mad dash to undo the damage. 1.25 million government employees went without pay since October 1st. 10,000 flights were canceled in the past week, and many missed crucial food benefits. The economy as a whole is also expected to take a hit.
We're looking at GDP in the fourth quarter about 1.5% lower than it would have been if we didn't have the shutdown.
Federal workers should expect to be made whole within a week. Some TSA employees received a $10,000 bonus for their sacrifice.
For stepping up, taking on extra shifts, for showing up each and every day.
Air traffic controllers could get bonuses too, with flights expected to return to normal before the holidays. But there was a staffing shortage long before the shutdown.
They may be dissatisfied with the job, so time will tell.
Democrats believe it was all worth the fight trying to extend health care subsidies.
And we certainly support our hardworking federal employees, but at the same period of time, we're in the midst of a health care crisis that Republicans have created.
They're hoping Republicans will work with them over the next 2 months.
We can have policy conversations about the issues that affect our country, but holding our troops hostage, not paying our federal employees, never the appropriate way to try to get something done.
If no deal is reached, new ACA premiums will take effect on January 1st. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
And stay with Fox 35 as we continue to follow the reopening of the government. You can track SNAP payments, flights, and more with the Fox Local app. It's free to download on all of your smart devices. John?
All right, we're tracking the next big thing. Look at this one. Temps are rising, and we're going to be back in the 80s by the weekend. And Noah is back with us right now, and we were just in awe of this shot that you have there, and you're about to show more of this. It's very rare you get one where everybody in the studio is like, oh my gosh, that is beautiful.
We've had a couple great sunsets this week, man. It's been beautiful. Look at this one from Port Canaveral. I mean, this is unedited. There's no razzmatazz here often. Look, let's admit, you know, I've done it. You can change the camera, you mess your iPhone up, you saturate the photo. Look, there's no editing to this photo. That's how the sky actually looks in this camera shot. That is the raw camera image, and it is just on fire. One of the reddest sunsets we've probably seen all year right now on the Space Coast. Just a beautiful view out there as we are about to get dark here early, but the sunsets will be getting later here. In the next couple of weeks, we will reach the earliest sunset of the year. All right, temperature right now, 69 in Orlando, 70 in Tampa, 67 in Melbourne, 70 down in West Palm. The air is very dry still, but it's not as dry as it was a few days ago. Dew points have come up, but it's still really dry. Not really any noticeable humidity. Temperature 65 Cocoa Beach in Daytona, 65 DeLand, 64 in Gainesville. Overnight, maybe some fog once you get to the villages, Leesburg, Winter Garden, Ocoee, over towards Bushnell, and up the I-75 corridor. Otherwise, it's into the 50s, mostly clear tonight. Highs tomorrow, upper 70s, but we should stay below 80. All right, we've got some big changes for next week, and I'll let you know when we might have some rain returning in our forecast in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Noah. The teenager charged in the deadly Halloween mass shooting in Orlando is going to trial. Jalen Edgar is accused of shooting 9 people, killing 2 men. Edgar was in court this morning for a status hearing. He is charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and 7 counts of attempted murder. If he's found guilty, he could face life in prison. His trial is set to start January 12th. Also developing now, the Alachua County School Board Vice Chair is standing up for what she calls protected speech. Tina Certain spoke today at the State Board of Education meeting at the request of the Education Commissioner. She is defending controversial comments she made about political activist Charlie Kirk after he was murdered. Her remarks were posted on her personal Facebook page.
Elected officials do not surrender their constitutional rights upon assuming office. My personal Facebook comment, while frank and imperfectly worded, was constitutionally protected speech.
The board said there were other offensive comments on her page as well about white and Asian people, and they questioned her ability to do her job.
A Fox 35 News update right now. Florida State University football player Ethan Pritchard left a rehabilitation center in Jacksonville today. He's been going through physical therapy after he was shot in the head back in August. The former Seminole High School football star was shot while driving his family home after FSU's big win over Alabama in Week 1. Well, Ethan now going back to Tallahassee to continue his recovery. 4 suspects behind bars for the shooting, which now appears to be a case of mistaken identity. If you plan on visiting SeaWorld anytime soon, you're going to have to leave the walkers with the seats at home.
Yeah, the amusement park is banning those types of walkers. Fox 35's Hannah McKenzie is hearing from one woman who's upset about the change.
She tells me SeaWorld's policy change came as a shock and adds this is going to exclude a large amount of people who depend on this specific type of walker to get around. The coaster capital of Orlando, putting the brakes on certain mobility devices.
I love SeaWorld. It is
my favorite place at Christmas.
Nancy Schwartz and her husband go 3 times a week, but their holiday tradition halted Saturday when security wouldn't let Schwartz in with her wheeled walker with a seat.
This is the walker that I was using.
She tells Fox 35 she'd been at the park with the same device less than 24 hours before. It's been with her at SeaWorld dozens of times. Schwartz even has this red placard given to her by park staff.
Walkers, rollators must not be used as wheelchairs. Failure to comply will result in removal from the park without refund. So you signed something to get this?
Yes.
And there was no problem with it prior?
No problem prior, and Friday night I used it, Saturday night it was a problem.
SeaWorld's policy seemingly changing overnight. No notice, no warning. We reached out. A spokesperson telling us SeaWorld Orlando recently updated their guidance regarding rollators and wheeled walkers with seats, adding, quote, "These devices can pose a safety concern if not used in accordance with manufacturer requirements, which strictly prohibit using them as a wheelchair. Rollator and wheeled walkers without seats are permitted, and other mobility options such as wheelchairs and electronic convenience vehicles are available for guests." Schwartz doesn't need a wheelchair. She's worked hard to maintain her independence on her feet. She's looked all over for a walker or rollator that satisfies SeaWorld's new policy. No luck.
The walkers that don't have seats also don't have wheels. They have like the tennis balls in front, or they're the kind that you have to pick up and carry. So it's very disappointing. I'm very disappointed in SeaWorld, but I'd really like to see them include everybody in their disability policy.
And just to make it clear, SeaWorld says walkers without seats are still permitted in the park. In Orlando, Hannah McKenzie, Fox 35 News.
And when it comes to walker policies at the other theme parks, here's what we found today. The rollators are allowed at Disney World, Universal Studios, and Epic Universe. Busch Gardens also allows walkers with seats in their park.
Well, coming up here on the News Edge at 6 tonight, a lawsuit involving Mickey Mouse comes to a close. The case was dropped, but that does not mean the fight is over.
Plus, phasing out the penny could end up costing you. Why experts say this change is going to make some changes.
And a donation that could save lives. We're going to meet the newest member of the Brevard County Sheriff's Office ahead.
New tonight, the Brevard County Sheriff's Office is welcoming a new member to the force.
The K-9 was just donated to help find missing people. Fox 35's Marlisa Goldsmith shares what this means for the community.
Meet Max. He's a 1-year-old bloodhound dog. He was donated to the Brevard County Sheriff's Office by the Senior Resource Alliance in partnership with the Department of Justice.
This one will be is an immense help to us.
Max spent hundreds of hours training to be able to help find missing people. The focus is people with Alzheimer's disease and other forms of dementia. There's K9 Max. Max is one of 7 bloodhounds trained and donated by the Senior Resource Alliance since 2021. The dogs have helped find 81 missing persons so far.
They have gone to this extensive, rigorous training to be able to identify the scent of a particular individual that may be lost in the community.
Part of the tools needed to help find a missing person is providing a scent to the canine. Families can be sure their loved one's scent is readily available to law enforcement by getting a scent kit.
We provide police department and the public with scent evidence kit, and that kit is important because it can be presented to the dog to be able to find an individual that is lost.
Donations like a bloodhound canine and a scent kit means the sheriff's office does not have to use county budget to provide these resources to the community. It also means deputies will have the tools needed to safely reunite families.
We'd hope we'd never have to use Max, but we know that's going to happen. So, our hope for is if Max is deployed in a case where either someone who's elderly is missing or a child is missing, that Max is going to lead us to that person and we'll recover them in the least amount of time for them to be away from home.
And Max has been paired with Deputy Brittany Rowland.
Fox 35 News update. Morgan & Morgan has dropped its preemptive lawsuit against Disney. That lawsuit was filed to allow the law firm to use Steamboat Willie in an advertisement. This was filed back in September. Now, the ad does include verbal and visual disclaimers indicating the ad was not approved, authorized, or endorsed by Disney. The suit was dismissed without prejudice, which means it can be refiled down the road.
And here is a live look tonight from the Hard Rock Hotel, Daytona Beach. Looking good out there. I think the water's still warm, even though the air's been pretty cool. Let's check in once again with Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Noah Berggren.
Wow, lots of beautiful views around the area this evening. Clear skies. It was great out there today.
I have an Adirondack chair at my place.
Yeah.
I was out there I was like a lizard. It was hard to get up and put this on and come to work. I was like, I'll just happily sit there all day. It was just perfect today. And the good news is, if you couldn't enjoy today, you got tomorrow, you got Saturday, and the perk of being in Florida, you got more than just 2 days. It's going to be this nice for a while now as the sun has now set. It's not as cold as it's been, but it's definitely on the chilly side for Florida standards. All right, thanks for joining us tonight in the news at 6. All right, so we got lots of sun, at least for the next 7 days. That's notable, number one. We're going to be 85 plus in some places the middle to end of next week, I do believe. No rain in sight. Drought is going to start to develop, even though it is the dry season, even though, yes, we just had 3 weeks ago historic flooding in Mount Dora Eustis. We continue to cover in Titusville. Drought is going to really kick in pretty fast, given the pattern I'm seeing for the next few weeks. No rain tonight, and again, candidly, I don't know the next time it'll rain. Maybe next Saturday. We'll show you that in a second. But even that's not a guarantee. So rain is very few and far between in the long-range charts. Completely clear out there today. We had a little bit of a north wind still keeping the humidity down. If you notice dry skin or dry lips, you work outside, you've been outside for a long time, you can blame the weather. There's desert-like air that's been over us for about 3-4 days now. And across the country, it's really pretty quiet. This is getting to the time of the year, though, once we start getting those big, we call them mid-latitude storms, the storms that cut across the country heading into Thanksgiving and Christmas. You haven't seen the first one yet, probably next week. Some lake effect snow up in the north. The only thing that's of note is out in the western U.S., some big flooding over the next few days. Here's the rain from the next 7 days going forward. Nothing for Florida and the Carolinas. Maybe a couple inches of rain from northeast Texas through Arkansas and Missouri. But check out California. This is a huge headline for them. Now, I know to us, 5 inches of rain, you get that in 20 minutes in a Orlando July thunderstorm. But this will be a headline-making flash flood for some areas with the burn scars from the fires earlier this year. There's been places that have been evacuated. So this is a big weather event. That's probably the only national notable thing for the next several days. All right, so the temperature outlook, the end of next week is very warm, well above normal, high 80s. Oftentimes you will find nature and the weather is just like a rubber band. In fact, there is a loose term we use when forecasting the rubber band theory. You hold it so far one way, you let go and we go the other way. So meaning we were really cold and then now we're going to be really, really warm, and then after that we'll settle out somewhere in the middle closer to normal. So the middle and end of next week, very warm in the east, very cool out west for the Pacific Northwest. And again, those temperatures over the next few, back to 80 on Saturday. Average high this time of the year sits at about 79. And the morning lows, average morning low is about 59. We'll be back close to that by Monday morning and then Tuesday morning of next week. All right, so no rain through at least next Wednesday. I do think there's a big cold front maybe at the end of next week. I'll talk to you more about that and show that to you in the long-range modeling coming up at about 6:45.
Still to come, the White House floating some new options that could help first-time home buyers. We'll explain what's on the table. The price to make a penny ended up costing that coin a future. It's costing nearly 4 cents to make a penny, so the Treasury minted the final pennies yesterday. They're gone. And retailers now worried about what they're going to do when it comes to making change. The National Association of Convenience Stores is worried because half of their transactions are in cash. So a possible shortage of pennies down the road could lead to prices being rounded up or down to accommodate.
We're not asking for the penny to come back. What we're asking for is federal clarity so that retailers can round up and round down.
We all have to be willing to embrace change. No pun intended, but that worked pretty well, didn't it?
That was a good line, actually. This isn't the first time we've seen the end of a coin. The half-cent coin was phased out over 150 years ago.
Well, right now, November is Manatee Awareness Month here in Florida, and SeaWorld is sharing the story of Barber. This 675-pound manatee was the 42nd rescue and release this year. He was rescued in Indian River County after a boat strike. After 8 weeks of around-the-clock care, Barber made a full recovery. He's now back in the ocean. Well, coming up on Central Florida's only live local newscast at 6:30, the Orlando Pride chasing another title.
Team is one win away from playing for the championship again. Why the champs are feeling disrespected ahead of that match.
Parts of Titusville were underwater after historic flooding left some people trapped in their homes.
Now that the federal government has reopened, relief could be on the way. Fox 35's Esther Bauer shares who can cash in on these loans.
The SBA isn't just here to help small businesses. Nonprofits, homeowners, even renters could qualify for these loans. They're going to be set up here at the library. The sign is still in place through December to make sure people that were hit hard by the floods have the money to rebuild. Historic flash flooding hurt hundreds of families across Central Florida.
We just have never seen flooding like this ever, and it's pretty devastating.
This isn't just water. This car's gone. This car's gone.
The water may be gone now, but families still have a lot of work to do.
It's ruined everything in our workshop, garage, and back patio.
Helping families fix what's ruined is why the Small Business Administration moved into the Titusville Library on Thursday.
We have loans at very low interest rates for homeowners and small businesses, nonprofits, et cetera.
Reps are ready with information to see if a loan from the U.S. Treasury is right for you. Homeowners can qualify for up to $500,000 and small businesses could receive up to $2 million. You do have to prove the disaster you're dealing with came from the flash floods on October 26th.
We totaled out our truck because we were trying to get people in and out.
It's not just homes. We understand that vehicles also were damaged in this, and so vehicles, of course, are covered under these loans.
The loans cover physical damage and can also help businesses keep up with expenses if they've had to close.
Provide working capital to meet your, let's say, your monthly obligations, your overhead, your payroll, et cetera, et cetera.
If you submit an application, you should know in about a month how much you'll qualify for.
Our loan rates are extremely low. Homeowners can qualify for a loan of 3% interest rate. Businesses for economic injury can qualify for 4%. These loans are certainly a lot lower than you might experience in the private market.
And this isn't just for people here on the Space Coast. If you had damage from the flash floods in Volusia, Orange, Osceola, and Seminole, you can come out here to this location for help. You can also call or go online. Reporting in Titusville, Esther Bauer, Fox 35 News.
Thanks, Esther. In Lake County, the neighborhood bridge that partially collapsed in Eustis is now back open and ready for cars. The bridge in the Spring Ridge Estates crumbled following torrential rainfall. Officials say crews worked around the clock and rebuilt that road in just 6 days. They say a job like that normally takes about 4 months.
We pulled all our resources together and we wanted to get these people back in their homes. So in 6 days, we rebuilt the culvert, redid the main water line going in, and we repaved the road and redid the roads and sidewalks. Right now, it is open, and when we're done doing this, move the cameras all the way so people can start driving on it, which is a great thing.
Cost of repairs is around $500,000, even $700,000. Still unclear, though, where the money's going to come from to help pay for all those repairs.
In Volusia County, 41 dogs are now in the hands of the Halifax Humane Society. The pups were just rescued from a hoarder house. Many of the dogs were malnourished, had fleas and skin infections. The Humane Society says they worked overnight with their veterans to take care of the dogs. Once the pups are healthy, they will be put up for adoption. Well, tonight on TMZ, a fan runs at Ariana Grande during the Wicked premiere. Her co-star becoming her bodyguard. And TMZ producer Branson Quirk is joining us live in Hollywood. So, Branson, what happened here?
I mean, Cynthia, obviously in that video, really came to Ariana's side there. This was actually at Universal Studios in Singapore. They were promoting the movie at this premiere on this yellow carpet. We had Jeff Goldblum, Cynthia Erivo, Ariana Grande, and other cast members and crew walking down, and it's all on video. Fans are cheering for them. And at one point, this crazed fan jumps in, beelines it for Ariana, puts his arm around her, and then starts jumping up and down, smiling and grinning. Immediately, Cynthia Erivo going to Ariana's defense, grabbing that fan on the shoulders, pushing him away, and of course, security did get involved. And very swiftly, too, there's also footage of that fan being escorted out of the area on that yellow carpet. We hear fans booing at this person, and according to some reports, this man is the Pajama Man online. That's his stage name, where he rushes on stage for celebrities and just makes a fool of himself. Well, this could have gone a lot worse if I think Cynthia had actually used her nails, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, that was pretty scary because you don't know what that fan wants. You don't know what they plan to do. There's fans who have hurt stars before. So, and Ariana's like this big. She's a tiny little thing. She could have gotten hurt. That's so not cool.
I know. It's so terrifying. You can see it in Ariana's face when you watch the video.
Right, just for social media clout. All right, Branson,
Yeah.
thank you. We'll tune into TMZ tonight at 7:30. Well, a news alert now. The White House is looking for more options to make buying a home more accessible.
Fox 35's Mike Emanuel takes a look at the latest proposals for a portable mortgage.
First, it was a 50-year mortgage. Now the Trump administration says it's exploring the idea of portable mortgages as it moves to tackle the housing affordability crisis. The suggestion was floated Wednesday in a social media post by Bill Pulte, the head of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. It would essentially allow homeowners to sell their houses and buy a new one while keeping their original mortgage rate. But some business leaders say it's a bad idea because it's unlikely rates will drop below 6% anytime soon.
We had this small period of 25 years where rates dropped below 5%, and everybody thought that was going to be the future forever. And now we struggle to go back to that. We'll never get there.
The White House wouldn't comment specifically on Pulte's proposal, but in a statement, a spokesperson told Fox News, quote, President Trump is always exploring new ways to improve housing affordability for everyday Americans. It comes just one day after the president floated a different way to lower housing costs, allowing buyers to purchase a 50-year mortgage.
This is a proposal that the president himself has commented on, and it's something that the administration is discussing and seriously looking into.
And the administration says more affordable housing proposals are in the pipeline.
We're going to be making recommendations to the president about the whole suite of housing policies.
The White House is also considering allowing assumable loans where homeowners can take over the seller's mortgage rate. In Washington, Mike Emanuel, Fox News.
In the Fox 35 Sports Zone, a big test for the UCF Knights this weekend. They're going to hit the road and face a top 10 team.
Fox 35 sports reporter Sean Berry is live with a preview of the matchup against Texas Tech. Sean, this is going to be a tough one.
Well, yeah, if you're a betting man, the odds of UCF's 7-game road losing streak, which extends more than a year, especially in the conference, coming to an end this weekend, not really looking that good. The Tortillas are getting ready to fly in Lubbock, Texas. Number 6 Texas Tech getting ready to host UCF this weekend. UCF coming off the heartbreaking loss in the space game against Houston, and they definitely had a problem. Texas Tech beat the undefeated BYU Cougars last week, so the Knights are currently 24-point underdogs. The Red Raiders, smallest margin of victory so far this season, 23 points. They're winning often and winning big, but head coach Scott Frost says nothing changes with their game prep.
I have the same mentality I've had every week. We just got to keep getting better, and we haven't played up to our capabilities on the road yet this year. So whatever that capability is, then I want to play it at a closer rate to what our best is, and that means a good week of practice and the right mentality going into the game.
Kickoff between the Knights and Red Raiders set for 3:30 Saturday afternoon. The Gators, meanwhile, they don't have much of a better matchup either. On the road at number 7 Ole Miss this weekend. The winner, what do we say? The winner gets Lane Kiffin as head coach. Any takers? No? Okay. Well, Florida is hoping for a case of deja vu, meanwhile, looking to play spoiler to the Rebels. Again, they beat Ole Miss last season, costing the Rebels a spot in the college football playoff.
We got a chance to finish with a winning season. And I think that's one thing that people forget is outside the building, we have a chance to control that. We control our own destiny. So we can't afford to change the course. We got to continue to stay the course. Coaching staff, we got to continue to change the course or stay the course and not change either and help our players be successful.
Florida, Ole Miss set for 7 o'clock on Saturday night. The Orlando Pride, meanwhile, they are gearing up for a huge semifinal match this Sunday. If they win, they will be another step closer to becoming the only the third team in NWSL history to win back-to-back titles. Fox 35 sports reporter Jonah Karp caught up with the team today.
Winners find ways to win, and this Orlando Pride team is full of winners. Hasn't exactly been the smoothest season, though. Kind of like a U-shape. Started off great, then the Pride struggled to win matches come summertime, but they're back on the uptick and have been for several weeks now. And now the Pride, once again, find themselves on the verge of yet another championship appearance.
It is Orlando Pride who are the NWSL champions.
A year after hoisting the NWSL championship trophy, the Pride are right back where they want to be, chasing another title.
We're talking so much about this season, and of course compare like same situation with the last season. Of course, we don't did like the same that we did last year, but we still have the same players here and the same mentality, and still work so hard and still believe.
The defending NWSL champs are back in the semis for a second year in a row, fueled by a belief that even after lifting the trophy last year, no one is taking them seriously.
At the same time, I like when I see people talk so much about Pride and then don't give so credit for, because make me feel good, make me feel like, yeah, I want to go and play and improve them. They're completely wrong.
The road to repeat hasn't been easy, but the Orlando Pride are proving once again they're built for the moment. The defending champs entered the playoffs as the number 4 seed and took care of business last weekend, knocking out number 5, Seattle, in front of a fired-up home crowd.
If I know anything about this group, it's they know how to navigate adversity. They thrive in it. They thrive when there's doubters and there's haters out there questioning whether or not they can pull things together. And to be able to end the season on a high note the way that we did and make a strong push to finish in top 4, host a quarterfinal, and now be fortunate enough to be able to host a semifinal is really exciting.
Now it's on to the semifinals, a showdown between the 2023 and 2024 champions. Orlando will welcome Gotham FC to town. They just pulled off the biggest upset in NWSL playoffs history, taking down Shield winners Kansas City on the road.
But I think, the crowd that we had for the quarterfinals last week was incredible, so I'm hoping that we get the same, kind of energy and vibes out there. We had close to 11,500 people for the quarterfinal. We want to beat that for the semifinal. 3 p.m. Sunday at Enter & Co. I hope to see everybody out there. We need you. We need loud. Gotham's going to be a difficult team to beat. They're a very strong team as well, so that energy of the crowd is going to be crucial.
Well, you heard Haley, but I'll repeat it. Enter & Co Stadium's the place to be on Sunday afternoon. The match starts at 3 o'clock between Orlando and Gotham. For Fox 35 Sports, I'm Jonah Karp.
Now, I guess you could say that the Pride are looking for some magic. The Magic, however, they're just looking for some answers. Paolo Banchero's injury from last night going to keep him on the bench for now. He will miss tomorrow's game against the Nets because of a left groin injury he suffered in the win over the Knicks last night. Banchero had an MRI today, and the team says it is just a strain. So I guess that's best case scenario. To make matters worse, though, it was his 23rd birthday yesterday. Not a great way to spend it. He's going to be day to day for now, and he will be reevaluated.
There was a moment he was going up and down the court. I think it was a quick turn, and then I just saw him pause for a second. I looked at him, just try to see where he was with it, and then he just, I got him out of there before anything changed.
Well, the Banchero-less Magic will host the Nets tomorrow night at 7 as part of the NBA Cup group stage action. Going to need him back soon, especially with how well they've been playing as of late, winning 5 of their last 7, guys.
Oh, yeah, we need him.
And they blew him out last night, though. That's good that they still did that without him, so that was great last night, finally.
Yeah, better safe than sorry.
Right, that's for sure. Thank you, sir.
Coming up next, cold, stunned sea turtles in need of help.
Luckily, there were people walking the shore at just the right time. We're going to show you how volunteers help get the hatchlings back into the ocean.
Fox 35 update tonight. Baby sea turtles had a tough time with this week's cold snap.
And dozens had to be rescued from the beach and taken to get care. Fox 35's Jessica Dobson was on the beach when the little hatchlings were released this morning.
A chilly morning on the Brevard County coast turned into a life-saving mission for over 40 baby sea turtles on Tuesday.
We're out here every morning looking for the, see the sunrise, looking for the turtles. So there was one, he was not moving, wasn't sure if he was dead or not. So I looked around and we ended up getting a total of 45.
The baby sea turtles had been cold stunned, their small bodies slowed down by the unusually cold temperatures in central Florida this week.
Here in the morning, I walk every morning and just check for nests that have hatched. And because we have this rack line and because a lot of the nests are in the dune, we get turtles, the last one or two that come out of the nest, sometimes they're stuck with the little thin roots wrapped around them and they're stuck sticking their little heads out of the nest. But so we take that and let them get on their way.
But on Tuesday morning, many of the baby sea turtles weren't able to move at all, at least not until volunteers stepped in.
The first day that it happened, it was 42, 45 in here, wasn't it for you? Yeah. And that seemed to give them a start. But the water is 77, so get them to the water. If they're moving and we can get them to the water, then the water will warm them and we can get them in the water.
Volunteers say if you ever find a turtle that looks cold or sluggish, don't touch it or put it back in the water. Instead, call the Sea Turtle Preservation Society or Florida Fish and Wildlife for help. Once the little ones are stable, they're released under the cover of darkness to give them the best shot at survival.
The reason to do that is so it's dark and that they have a better chance of getting out further rather than becoming a little more like bait in the morning.
Thanks to a few helping hands, those hatchlings have safely made it to their new warm home in the Atlantic. Reporting in Melbourne Beach, Jessica Dobson, Fox 35 News.
Did you know that Orlando has a hurling team? It's the national sport of Ireland, and there's a tournament in town this weekend called the O-Town Invitational. Well, hurling is one of the oldest and fastest field sports in the world. It's played with a stick called a hurley and a small ball. Orlando's team practices weekly at Blue Jacket Park, and they say the sport is really all about community.
We actually practice over at Blue Jacket Park right here on the weekends. As of late, it's been on Saturdays in the morning at 9:30. Anybody can get involved regardless of skill level. We have people who have been playing all their lives and people who have just started out. So it's a great sport and it's really fun.
The tournament kicks off Saturday at Airport Lakes Park at 9 a.m.
And it's going to be a great weekend to get outside. Look at this one. Here's the view from our iDrive camera. You can see some of the attractions down there, just absolutely beautiful tonight. And Noah Bergman is back with us right now.
Yeah, Noah, we're going to have a great weekend for hurling, theme parks, really anything outside.
Never done that yet, but yes. Yeah. Have you guys? No.
I haven't even heard of it.
No, not that kind of hurling. I'm sure we're all thinking the same thing, right? We didn't know what it was.
And, it's going to be great to do anything outside, and it's not going to really be that cold anymore. I mean, we got through one of the coldest spells we'll have all winter, and now it's just looking so nice. I mean, today was perfect, as I'm sure you noticed. It was hard to get inside on a day like today. So take a live look from Lake Fairview. Now, I want you to look at those palms there. They're not moving anymore, so the winds have really died down. It's about 66 right now in the Ocala area. Temperatures across the rest of Central Florida, about 66 in Leesburg, 66 Clearmount, 65 in Winter Haven, 60 over in Titusville. Maybe a little bit of fog areas north and west tonight, about 47 in Ocala, 51 in Leesburg, 52 tonight in Sanford, closer to 60 once you get back towards the Space Coast on a historic day from the Florida Space Coast. About 77 tomorrow in Sanford, 77 in Melbourne, Palm Bay, Mico, about 74 in Palm Coast near Palatka and Pearson, and about 76 in DeLand in Deltona. All right, so our next headline is really warm air. This is the temperature outlook for the end of next week. Very warm compared to average. I'm not complaining. It's fine with me. I'm very excited about that. And it's going to be maybe close to 90 down in South Florida. The end of next week. So a huge 180. Now, when it's warm in the east, this is one of the oldest adages we have in meteorology. I mean, you'd be amazed how often that this is correct. And you remember this table, if you watch the weather often, cold in the east, warm in the west, warm in the west, cold in the east. It almost always is the case. So if you ever hear about really warm air in California, it's the opposite here, almost exclusively all the time. And the same is true for Alaska, by the way. So we're going to get really warm here. And the western U.S. is going to get really cold. Rarely is it not the case like that. So here's the temperature trend over the next few days. Average high is about 79. We're back to 80 by the weekend. Morning lows, no more 30s, no more 20s. Average morning low is 59. We'll be back to there by Sunday, especially Monday morning of next week. Rain is 0. Now, look, it is the dry season, and often we do get drought in Florida. But things are going to get crunchy pretty quick here. And I know that might seem like bizarro, considering we're covering in our newscast the recovery from historic flash flooding still. But it's going to get dry and get crunchy, and the grass is going to get brown pretty fast here with very little to no rain in sight, even for being in the rainy season. There's just nothing as far out as we can see to tell you of anything of significance. Over the weekend, high pressure slides to the east, and that'll help warm us up. A little bit of a southwest wind heading into early next week. All right, so the next big thing, jump ahead to a week from now. This is next Thursday. It does look like fall severe weather season will make headlines starting next week. I think next week through the end of the month, at least 3 pretty significant severe weather setups in the deep south and the Midwest. And this one on Friday of next week, Thursday and Friday, could produce a lot of severe weather in this area in red, meaning tornadoes, damaging winds, and it even could be a significant threat for that Thursday of next week, from East Texas to southern Alabama, Mississippi, then up through Arkansas. And on Friday of next week, that will push east, maybe including the Florida Panhandle, up through Georgia, in Mississippi, and Alabama. Now, this front will probably come through here next Friday night or Saturday. As of right now, with minimal rain, the big storms and the heavy rain and the severe weather probably will miss us to the north, but that's really the only next best chance of rain I can see, and even that doesn't even look like much. But enjoy the sunshine, though. We're getting warmer into next week, and one other thing, you'll notice some humidity that'll come back too in the middle of next week. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Business is booming at Tactical Brewing. The brewery announced a new Baldwin Park location. In a social media post, the brewery owners say the original location will operate business as usual until this new larger location is ready to rock and roll. The bigger site will be home to a food hall and even a concert venue. An official opening date has not been released yet.
Well, that's all the time we have at 6, but the headlines don't stop here.
Here's a preview of Florida Tonight, which is coming up in just a few minutes.
Hey there, John and Luann. On this Thursday, I'm thankful for food, fun, festivals, and Florida. And tonight's show has all 4 of those. Starting with, after taking a year off, an iconic Tampa Bay Music Festival is making its return in 2026. That's right, 98 Rock Fest is making a resounding comeback in a new location. AJ from 98 Rock will join us with all the details and the lineup. And David Martin and photojournalist Paolo venture to the Orange County Convention Center for a culinary cornucopia. It's hard for me to say cornucopia. The Florida Restaurant Show, highlighted by the Florida Pizza Summit. Boy, I hope they didn't leave hungry. And after making waves all over social media, our favorite micro Highland cow, Jason Momoa, came for a visit. And Haley, so lucky she got to meet him. And yes, he is just as cute in person. And by the way, Mom called and she wants you to tune in at 7 for Florida Tonight.
Oh, we got to tune in for Jason Momoa. He was the cutest.
And listen to Mom.
Right.
She said to.
Thanks for joining us here for the News Edge at 6.
And the news continues tonight at 10. We'll see you then.
and Floridians and the Florida curious. This is Florida Tonight. I'm Chris Cato.
And I'm Haley Hines. We're so glad to see you. Here's what you have to look forward to tonight. It's Thankful Thursday, and we're so thankful to you for tuning in.
And for sending us your messages of what you are thankful for. We're going to show those off later in the show. Plus, I'm just going to say it. Prices are out of control, Haley.
You can say that again. We have been looking for some fun deals to save you some cash starting at the movies.
Yeah, a local hidden gem is inviting you back to the theater.
And remember this bovine baby?
Oh, yeah. How could we forget?
Well, I have a special surprise for you.
Is that why you were off yesterday?
We'll have to see. Why else would I miss an episode of Florida Tonight?
Well, I thought it was because you might have been out at the movies after taking out a loan. It is expensive to go to the movies these days. Just ask Chomp here.
Oh, yeah, especially if you have kids.
Like Chomp does. Yeah, we did some boring math stuff. Actually, EPV did. Feel free to check her work, though. We've seen her try to time this show out before. But on average in Florida, it costs about $32 per person to buy a movie ticket, a popcorn, and a drink.
It's that big popcorn that gets you, though. You gotta have the bucket. It's kind of sad, though, because who couldn't use an escape from reality these days, at least for a little bit, especially with a huge blockbuster like this one coming out.
Think of what we can do together.
I cannot wait to see the Wicked Double feature and check these prices. Ooh, wow. Our friend social media guru Amari Kraft takes us to Sunray Cinema in Tampa, where fun is still affordable.
The magic of movie going because prices are a bit too high. A local theater here in Tampa might be the place for you. Whether you like mainstream films or cult classics, they've got both.
You can show people a good time at the movies without gouging them. You can break the mold that has been created of what people expect from a movie-going experience.
Tim Massett and Shayna David Massett, who first opened Sunray Cinema 13 years ago in Jacksonville, relocated their independent theater to Tampa behind University Mall in 2024.
This mall and its redevelopment and the slowness of that makes it so that people are finding a real surprise when they get here. We're playing the same film for less money, and our staff is really excited to be here. And if you tell them that there's a guy texting next to you, they're gonna talk to that dude really discreetly, really thoughtfully, and make sure that your movie-going experience isn't disrupted.
The husband and wife duo aim to change moviegoers' habits by offering a consistent, affordable experience. Weekend tickets are only $10.75, and popcorn is $4 to $6, including a free refill.
We play the big giant blockbusters that are going to pay our bills. Those blockbusters are not released in the same rhythm throughout the year, and so that's where we get to fill in. Sometimes we're filling in movies that are new films that people would not otherwise see coming to this market. We're thrilled to work with the local filmmaking community that is so rich in Tampa. And it works for other events too.
The theater has begun its Welcome to 1995 film series that ends on November 30th. And for Lord of the Rings fans, the Gorge of the Rings event on December 13th is a showing of all 3 extended cuts from the trilogy, complete with a Hobbit feast.
As the slow redevelopment of this mall takes place, we're so insanely grateful to be an anchor, because I believe movie theaters are an anchor like nothing else.
If you want to find out what's now playing, visit their website at sunraycinema.com.
Thanks, Amari. New and classic movies, what is not to love?
I know, right? Sunray Cinema, so that's in the University Mall in Tampa, if you're familiar. Got to check that out. Looks like a good spot there.
Heck yeah.
Speaking of classic movies and food.
Pizza! Yep. Again!
Pepperoni.
Yeah, I hope you're eating dinner already, preferably pizza, or else this is going to give you FOMO. So we just found out about this event over in the Orlando area, and we kind of hope that this is what heaven looks like.
Yes, our friend David Martin stumbled upon the Florida Restaurant Show and Pizza Tomorrow Summit today.
2 different expos under one roof. The Florida Restaurant Show and the Pizza Tomorrow Summit, both promising resources and connections for the 300 vendors